Peace and welcome back to Elsa's magical Milky Cave.
Oh, get your fucking milkers out, baby. It's utter time. We got plenty to talk about on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin today. The big three, as they say, as we do have a nonsensical market going on right now. And actually, a very interesting thing happened in Bitcoin last night alongside major markets within this world. And let me just make sure that my microphone's working. It is working today. That's very, very good. All right, excellent. There we go, baby. There we fucking go. Anyways, let me just turn this down over here, making sure that there's going to be no interruptions, as I have apparently not set up properly for this early morning stream. Elsa wanted to show me something, but now we're back on track. Anyways, with that said, let's focus now on the Krown application, which can be found at app.krown.net. It is 100% free. There is a link in the description below if you are so inclined. Also, a link to the Discord channel as well, which, by the way, is 100% free. The only test, the only payment is that you actually have to figure out how to get the fuck in, which means it's a very simple process of getting past the alt identifier bot. But as I get to kind of look at all of the failures with coming in, apparently it is quite the doorkeeper there. So if you are or if you are interested and you have been stalked by the alt identifier thus far, please reference the channel video for this channel. It is essentially the video that plays if you are subscribed to this channel and you go to the homepage. And that's my next text. Make sure to like and subscribe and smash that bell button, smash your fucking face, and smash everything in your life, and also that Dogecoin baby too, because we have a lot to say about that today actually. Anyways, I always say that in jest, but it is actually really, really funny. Whenever I do say that in jest, actually the likes do go up, and apparently likes actually do make a difference on these videos, which I was always skeptical of. But at the end of the day, man, my priorities is making sure that I do as good of content that I actually can do, as this is a bit of a legacy project right now. Anyways, okay, Jesus Christ, man, I'm getting off on way too many tangents right now. Let's get into Milkcoin 200 billion X leverage. What the fuck, man? Hey, what's up, Yasa? Good morning to you, my friend. Good morning to you. Anyways, onto the Krown application. We actually do see several different things going on right here, which are actually pretty damn telling of our short-term and medium-term analysis for Bitcoin, and we'll definitely play into this. Bitcoin dominance continues to falter. We're down to 43% on the dominance read, which is the lowest that we have seen over the last, maybe like a year and a half to 2 years now. This is rather interesting right here, as it does continue to falter. And while it is getting close to our macro areas, I believe it still is a little bit more. It's actually worthwhile to go check it out today. But I believe that was the next sort of stop was somewhere in like the mid to upper 30s, if I recall properly. Then again, don't quote me on that. We'll check it out perhaps later. Fear and Green Index still kind of stuck within the 60s. Market is mostly optimistic, as it should be, after going fucking 3x without any major abatements over the past 5-6 months here. And open interest coming down about 200 million from yesterday to today. So this is actually very, very key right here with the open interest. We still see that laws are in control of this market. We still see that laws are essentially running this, and with open interest coming down alongside price action coming down, I would be looking at that as longs taking profits, likely the longs who took their positions somewhere around the $50,000 level, of which, again, that level is going to come into very, 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 very big play into this analysis. So keep that one in mind. Anyways, top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins. We got Ravain on the winners list, 155% to the upside. What the fuck, man, is going on over there? We got Unis Said Leo, which is a mouthful of shit and piss. You got Urine Finance, UMA, who I'll be talking, Token, Compound, DAI, Tether, and then we got some stable coins over here. So not the best day for altcoin Bitcoin pairings, although the Bitcoin pairings obviously did falter right there on the whole, which is rather interesting. I imagine that was probably taken before that last little downturn. I guess this was while I was sleeping. Anyways, top 10 worst coins for the last 24 hours. Bitcoin Diamond down 23%. Icon, OMG, not again, man. EOS, Verge, Crypto.com coin, which is just MCO, Monaco for the OGs out there. Ontology, Ethereum Classic I actually saw go to zero or somewhere around there. Phantom and Cosmos, all big losers in the last 24 hours. So we are seeing a bit of a correction here. Altcoin Bitcoin pairings, it looks like, even though the Bitcoin dominance did technically go down right there overall. So I kind of want to check in on that and get a good idea of what's going on in the greater sphere of this market. And what's up, Mr. MF Pump? Thank you for joining the cave, man. There's a little join feature on the YouTube, and I never really talk about it too much, but yeah, man. Hey, happy to have you in there, brother. And let's get into the market data tab over here. What do we see? We do see more or less the same thing as an open interest. Again, as far as the greater whole goes, the open interest read is still having a bullish bias long term, but long term is not to be confused with short and medium term. Short and medium term, Bitcoin obviously ranging, and after hitting the top side of that range, that proverbial range, just below 60,000 bucks, what's likely to happen after that? You fucking guessed it, man. You're probably gonna go test some support, and that's kind of exactly what I'm looking for right here, actually, as we do see that the funny rate is still more or less inconsequential. I don't see anything that is too egregious over here. Binance getting a little bit up there, but no one's above the threshold or even really that close. Again, this chart is kind of deceptive because it is showing the 0.1 threshold all the way fucking over here, and every exchange is obviously well below that, and the big three over here, or at least Bybit, BitMEX, Huobi, are actually at parity with actually Kraken there as well, or a little bit below that level. Anyways, yep, the Bitcoin Dom is just straight fucking down boy shot, and I think it's time for me to take a sip of this coffee, and then we'll get into the charts in a second here. There we go. One more sippy sip, and it is into the charts. Krown coin would be worth its weight in hair. Sir, I'm very concerned about the letters that you choose for coin, because if this starts to turn into Krown's crypto coin with all the Ks, I'm not so sure that that's going to fly in today's day and age. What's up, Emma Roy? Thank you for joining as well, brother. Thank you for joining as well. Again, I always want to remind people, do not feel obligated to do anything like that. It's all good. There actually is a little bit of extra content in there. I think I have some live trades in there and shit like that, but I want to be very, very forthright. It's not anything like too crazy or anything like that. So enjoy. Anyways, okay, into the charts we go. We're going to start off with Bitcoin today, and actually we're going to do something completely different today. We're going to start with Bitcoin on Karatuk's STC indicator over here, because I think it kind of speaks for itself right now. So Bitcoin did test the top side of the, you could say that this was a long-term range. It was just below 60,000 bucks, just getting rejected on a bit of a front run right there. And what do we see over here? So we are starting to see momentum also just turn down here. This is the 12-hour, this is the daily, both turning down in tandem with each other, rejecting the critical zone in this case, which is rather telling in and of itself. What on top of that do we have? We have yet again another, I don't know, do you want to call this a lower high right here? I mean, it's more or less just a range high, yes, but after putting in a range high, what are you going to go do? Probably put in a range low. You can see that momentum will remain to the downside as long as you're below about 59,000 bucks, which is essentially that last high that Bitcoin had a couple days ago on the 9th of May. So what does this essentially imply right here? It does imply that, yes, downside is the likely resolution of this current short-term range, and that would have a natural target somewhere down around our last local low at around, you know, the low $50,000 level, give or take a few bucks there, or give or take a few thousand bucks there, because we are dealing with bigger ranges here. If we go over to the 12-hour, more or less the same thing, and if we go over to the 4-hour, I believe it is more or less the same thing as well. Momentum down all the way through, as you can see, and we even do show a little bit of short-term support just below 53,000 bucks. Anyways, we'll go over here to our other secondary charts, and I want to bring up this as well, and just harken back to this, the hash ribbons indicator, the hash ribbons buy and sell signal, which we've been referencing for the past couple weeks here, saying, hey, look, long-term, am I bullish on Bitcoin? Yeah. Do I think that Bitcoin still has new all-time highs to be made? Yeah. But do I think that Bitcoin's doing it like right from fucking here? No, I don't. I've been saying like a month or two of sideways for the past 2 months. Actually, I'd probably extend that for another month, honestly. And with that in mind, I still look at this as a good, or at least the next sort of timing, the closest thing that can come to a timing signal on this. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, until we actually get the blue buy signal on this, it's really not even, at least historically speaking, relevant to be looking for any sort of a greater move to the upside. As anytime we have seen the blue buy signal, it has taken at least a week, sometimes even 2 weeks, in some cases actually even a month, to actually play out the next sort of momentous drive. Now, I've gone through this in detail plenty of times over the long-term analysis videos. I can reference you there if you are so, if you want to check it out for yourself. You can also just backtest yourself, or you can just take my word for it. But I always suggest that, you do it yourself, that you can kind of see in real time, and then you will have no questions about it. But overall, very, very similar signatures over here. And of course, even to just get the buy signal typically even takes about a month from that first capitulation signal. And guess what? Our capitulation signal over here, if we zero down in on it, was about the 24th of April. So we are actually still about, a little bit less than 2 weeks away from that even being around that month. And then once you get that buy signal, it's typically about a week or two on top of that. So if we were to kind of come up with a range on it on the short side, I would say, it could play out within the next 2 weeks, in about 2 weeks, or on the long side could play out within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So I still don't think that Bitcoin is ready to trend here just yet. I think that Bitcoin very likely tests the bottom side of the high term time frame range and scares a lot of shit out of people. And we see a lot of capitulation in some altcoins, perhaps. Maybe not capitulation is the right word, but we see a lot of scaring action in the altcoin market. And then Bitcoin probably, carries on with the rotations and continues on to the upside, bringing the rest of the market with it. That is essentially my disposition right now. And of course, where's sort of a natural basing area for Bitcoin right here. Now, typically speaking, I really don't like doing shit like this because I really dislike diagonal trend lines, as they are highly variable, and especially over time, just a one small degree change and shift in curvature amounts to massive differences in price action over time. But I do think that is rather compelling over here, that we do see that this trend line coming in from the last couple lows on this formation would be coming in directly alongside the bottom side shoulder band right here, which is where $50,000. Hey, $50,000 is rather interesting, isn't it? Because that is the same area that we have been looking at on the bi-monthly right here for, if we go over to our more long-term chart, for a bit of a long-term basing action. Why do I say that? Because every time that we have closed a bi-monthly delta above the topside shoulder band, it has at the very least come back down and tested the topside shoulder band. In fact, more often than not, it actually gets a backfill in the last bi-monthly open. But over here, where would that be? Oh, that's rather strange. That's at $49,000 essentially, and our backfill is actually just about $1,000 below that. Or sorry, actually, it's going to be a little bit more below that. It's about $45,000 right there. But overall, what I want to show is that Bitcoin can have some downside here, yes, but overall, I still do remain long-term bullish, especially as long as one of these major conditions is met, of which that is remaining in a weekly uptrend. Where's our weekly uptrend coming in from? Well, our last higher low is where? It's right here at $49,000. And guess what? Where's that 20 simple coming in around? Holy fuck, is that right below $50,000 as well? Yes, it is. So overall, many things coming in around that $50,000 level, give or take about $1,000 from that region. And I would be looking for a bounce from that region as well. But that would imply some downside, or at least a bias towards the downside in the short and medium term here. And I believe if we go back down to the daily, we can see that momentum oscillators are following through with that as well, or at least they're building up. So we do see, first and foremost, SMI over here is obviously losing its momentum. We also see daily MACD crossing, or going to have a chance to cross to the downside for the first time in a while here. Now, what's even more interesting to me than that is that, bless you, sir, bless you, sir, the last time that we actually had the MACD moving components on this actually below the zero read was quite some time ago, actually. It was way the fuck back on over here, but they crossed below the zero read. And I'm talking about all the way back in September 2020. Hey, shut it off! God damn it, shut it off! Elsa's fucking around back there, causing all sorts of issues. Elsa, why can't you behave? No more fucking nanos for you. Anyways, yes, looking at this over here, this was the last time we actually even saw the MACD oscillators go below the zero read, and that was in September. And let me remind you what happened in September. Something pretty damn similar from what I'm looking at right over here as well. We do see that Bitcoin essentially, kind of started that first initial major reversal signature on the weekly, and then went through about a 2-month-long consolidation from about September all the way resolved late October. So I would say that that's probably very, very similar to what we're doing right now, if this market is going to remain bullish overall. Anyways, more importantly, where exactly was I with that? Yes, more importantly, I would be looking for the next sort of daily MACD cross the upside as likely a signal for the next momentous drive as well. That did work pretty damn well in that last drive over here, but what I really want to see is I don't just want to see cross the upside, I want to see a cross the upside plus a cross above the zero read. So first and foremost, we actually haven't even broken the zero read just yet. If we go back to our present times, it's very close here. It's very, very likely to do such things, and in fact, Caretaker's even gone through the liberties of telling you exactly what price action would be needed to do that, and it'd be 53,684. That's obviously going to be moving as time goes on too. So with today's daily closure, that will move down once again. And by the way, you can get this indicator for free on TradingView. Just type in Caretaker reverse MACD. I'm gonna take another sippy sip of this coffee, and then we'll be back into it in just a second. There we go. There we go. And then on top of that, the daily ADX DMI is also building up a bit of a short signal, it looks like, as well. Now, to be fair, neither of these oscillators is dominant right now. The DMI minus is obviously a lot closer to the threshold. And if you were using a more aggressive threshold for this at a 22 or 23, obviously it would already be denoted as dominant. Now, personally speaking, I like a higher read for that. If it's going to be counter trend signal, this one obviously being a counter trend signal right here is going to be a big, is going to be a bit of a weight, in my opinion. Anyways, Mr. Richard, I would greatly appreciate it, and also CG3, I would massively appreciate it if we could do the shitcoin analysis after we get through all of the Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis, just because it's a lot easier for me to kind of like pull up the comments after that. Otherwise, you do kind of risk getting lost in the ether of YouTube. I'll do my best to pull it back up, man, but I do want to warn you for that because it can kind of get lost there. And certainly it's happened in the past as well. All right, cool. Anyways, yeah, there you go. Anyways, so yes, looking at all of this, yeah, I do think that Bitcoin does have a little bit of downside here in the short and medium term. I think that the 2-day and 3-day are doing more or less the same thing. In fact, the 2-day having a clear rejection at the 20 simple. And what do you know? Another test down to the bottom side trailing band right here is certainly not out of the question, alongside the 55 as well, which by the way has been some nice basing area ever since Bitcoin really broke out of the coronavirus dump times all the way back here in April 2020. So we're talking about this signature right here, which by the way, remember that was very similar, or sorry, this signature right here also very, very similar. And that was also the last time that we even saw the MACD cross below the zero read as well. And again, I'm looking for something relatively similar to this. So as long as Bitcoin maintains on an open and closed basis above the 55, I don't think that Bitcoin's like reversing for the long term or anything like that. I think that Bitcoin still remains long-term bullish, but that ultimately very likely becomes a major opportunity, at least on the first pass and first test. And you can see that all of these tests down over the past, I guess this was like actually almost a year now, have been phenomenal buys, in fact. And this is again on the 2-day time frame. As I burped that one up, apologies, extremely unprofessional today. And let's go over to the 3-day and see if there's anything building up over here as well. Actually, no, but kind of interesting here. We do see the SMIs already showing some downside momentum, as well as the MACD histogram, and the ADX DMI is building up yet again another signal over here as well, with the DMI minus really inching its way towards that threshold. So it is really shaping up that short-term timeframes do want to come down here. I'll do one more perusal of the 4-hour, and guess what? We're actually even trending below the bottom side Toronto band right now. I'm sure that a lot of people are looking at this as a hammer dildo. Look, man, as far as dildo formations go in cryptocurrency, I just don't see them work out all that much. And if they do work out, it's typically on a very, 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 very high term time frame. I'm talking about like nothing less than a daily. So in this case right here, yeah, that would be the right analysis. This is certainly a hammer dildo. However, do I think that it gets played? No, I do not. This one's even on volume too, compared to the recent price action. But again, I just don't see these played all that much in cryptocurrency. Those work really, really well in Forex land, somewhat okay in traditional land, and very, very rarely in crypto land in my experience. Anyways, looking at MACD over here, again, coming down, same thing with SMI, and DMI minus is already dominant over here with the ADX strengthening. So yes, I do favor the downside on Bitcoin right here, and that's going to affect the rest of the market as it typically does as well. God damn it, man. Holy shit. What? It's like, look, man, all right. Oh my God, please, for the love of God, for the love of fucking God, man. Oh my fucking God, man. Look, fellas, I would kindly request that you just hold off for a few more minutes here. I would kindly request. I don't want to sound ungrateful, obviously. At the same time, though, please understand my perspective as well, so that we can get through this as efficiently as possible. All right, let's go over to Mr. Buterol, see what Mr. Buterol is doing. Mr. Buterol having a bit of a head fake on the daily right there along the top side Toronto band. I do look at this as the first sort of warning signal that this rally is waning in its momentum, at least for a medium-term consolidation. Did we hit any of the major targets to the upside? We did hit the 4-spot extension yesterday at 4250-ish region. This is not a big one for me. The 3-spot 618 is a big one for me, and as you can see on a closing basis, we have been held below it thus far. That also would imply, though, if we do break above it on a daily closing basis, which is basically $4,000, I'd be looking for the next major targets realistically towards the deeper 4,000s to get hit. I'm talking about 4,800 to $5,000. Can you drink another sip of coffee? I need to process your shotgun worth of knowledge. Hey, no problem, man. I'm actually gonna polish this baby off right here, right now. Just 1 second, my friend. All right, coffee out. Water in, baby. It's blue bottle time. Anyways, yeah, so looking at this right here. My wife, sir, please. My familia, sir, please do not sell. Anyways, yeah, so, if we do get a closure above $4,000 for Ethereum, I would be looking for one more melt move to the upside, somewhere around $5,000. If I'm giving my personal opinion on Ethereum, I actually do think that Ethereum does have another move to the upside somewhere around $5,000, and then has a absolutely catastrophic move, probably back down around to $3,000. It's just the way that this market plays a lot of the time. I'm not using any like significant technical analysis to derive that. It's just a hunch on that, on that tip. But ultimately, is that tradable? No, it's not, and I'm not trading this one anyway, so it doesn't really matter for me to begin with. Anyways, bringing up our momentum oscillators for this one, we do see that momentum is waning right now. Daily MACD histogram is starting to lose momentum, obviously, right there. Daily ADX DMI is still strengthening here, to be fair. However, we do see, I believe this trend line was on the 3-day maybe. Have we hit the trend line here? Oh wow, we didn't just hit the trend line, we shattered that trend line. Jesus Christ. Pretty fucking aggressive rally, to be fair. God damn, man. higher term time frame still bullish here on Ethereum. I'm actually not. Yeah, I don't think I'm looking for this as a short term or anything more than a short term top right now. Of course, the weekly still trending above the top side 20 band. There is absolutely nothing bearish about this formation right here at all whatsoever. Not in the very least. And 3 days, same thing. Bi-daily, same thing. Daily is more or less for consolidation. And you know, we have a pretty easy sort of way to be analyzing this one on the daily as well. Or sorry, on the daily and lower term time frames. Let's go over here to our primary charts and throw on this chart. We'll get to Dogecoin a little bit later, but short-term timeframes, you know, could we come back down and base around 3,500 or 3,550? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'd look at that as an opportunity on the first pass. Ultimately, though, I don't really see any real reason to be bearish, structurally speaking, on Ethereum, as long as we're above the last sort of range low, which is actually about 3,300-ish region. Big fucking ranges here, obviously, when we are talking about a parabolic asset, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast right now. But ultimately, even in its current posture, it actually could even put in some hidden bullish divergence if it does confirm a local low right here. I wouldn't necessarily hold my breath for that, because if Bitcoin does come down, which I do have a stronger bias on Bitcoin right now than I do on Ethereum, then Ethereum very, very likely comes down to about 35 to 3550-ish region as well. I would be looking for a bounce there, and simultaneously I would be looking for that to probably put in a nice low for the shorter term timeframes before marching again to the upside. If we go over here to the 12-hour, it is actually still fine as well. I'm not seeing any major issues with this just yet. For the longer term, yes, there's a little bit of bearish divergence there, but you could also argue that about 3550 would play that out. So fair enough. You know, maybe another short-term downside move there. Daily, same thing. Very, very much the same thing here as well. So I still do like Ethereum overall. I still do think that Ethereum has new highs to print here. And if we look at daily BBWP, we still have yet to hit a 100 percentile. And I really, 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 really want to see this get to like a 99 or 100 percentile on these aggressive, high calls, essentially. So I don't think that Ethereum's done just yet. I think it's got at least one more move here, probably somewhere around, maybe just shy of $5,000, and then it's pullback time. But it's very, very close. This one is pretty fucking mature right now, but still just one more move here, it looks like to me, and then a greater consolidation. I wouldn't necessarily be calling that a macro top. No, I would be calling that just a major consolidation, similar to what you see across the lands in this in this silly market. But overall, I do still like it. And short-term time frames, a little bit of sideways consolidation with the potential to come down to like 3,550 or even 3,500 even. But ultimately, I would be looking at that as an opportunity. All higher-term time frames still remain bullish. There's nothing bearish about this weekly in any way, shape, or form. Weekly TSI continues with the up after hitting the same sort of trend line that we had in. Hey, I guess it's not here anymore. God damn it. I guess it didn't save, or maybe I was on a different exchange chart there. But same thing, coming in all the way back from our January 2020 lows, actually. And same thing on weekly RSI. Like we will have bearish divergence there at some point, but until we actually confirm a local high, it's really not even, I don't even think it's worth looking for any major downside on this one at least for another few weeks just yet. At the soonest that I could be looking for that is maybe like next week, depending upon how we close this week, but I'm not leaning towards that right now. Still with an upside bias here. What's up, Luke? Appreciate that, man. But again, I would greatly appreciate it if you could just fucking hold off. Sorry, man, I'm starting to lose my nerve a bit. It's nothing personal. It's just like, how many fucking times can you ask without being respected for it? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'll try to pull up your comment a little bit later. It looks like you did not include it in your message either. So that's going to be the double whammy of fucked up. Anyways, I also want to check out traditional marks really, really quickly here as well, just because I think that they are also going to help out with the bias here. And yes, we got the weekly coming down on NASDAQ to the 21 there, playing out that bearish divergence from the last weekly closure. The question is now, it's not the question is now, short term extremely likely does bounce from here. I would be looking for a bounce somewhere back up towards about 13.4 to 13.450-ish region. Looking at the daily, I am potentially looking for more downside after this bounce, but I want to see the bounce first. This is starting to look a little bit more toppy, but the weekly, I'm not, we still have an uptrend here. We still got higher highs and higher lows as it stands right now. I think SPY futures are a little bit more obvious as well, and this is not really toppy just yet. It could be getting there, but I'd give it the benefit of the doubt, at least on the first pass. We already got the move, the 1, 2, 3, three drives of bearish divergence right there down to the 21. So until we actually break this last local low right here, which is 41.50, I really wouldn't be getting too bearish on this one. But more importantly, if that does happen, does that play into the analysis of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency landscape and just about everything else within this world? Very likely yes. So that would help me get a little bit more bearish just across the board here. looking for moves down, maybe just below 4,100, about 40.70 is where it kind of be angled towards on this one, and that obviously is going to have major implications for the rest of the the rest of the markets, as all these things are fucking correlated. By the way, daily Joule sell signal right here, it looks like on the 3rd of May. Let's see where that actually got. So it did not get the actual high, and very rarely does the Joule actually get the actual high. It typically gets a momentous drive after it, but in this case, it actually got the one before it, so would have gotten taken out of that position if I were to take that. But this is still a continuation signal right here as well, and we do see that BBWP is extremely low right now. I mean, we're talking about literally like about a 0 percentile actually, which is rather interesting. And the reason why that's interesting, because that would imply that expansion is coming, and if expansion is coming and likely, and we're about to enter into a little bit of a short-term downtrend, well, this thing can very easily come down to like 40.50 to 40.60ish region. All right, sweet. Okay, cool. Let me see what else I can find, and then we'll get into the comments. I feel like I'm missing. Oh yeah, let's go check out Bitcoin dominance. I definitely want to check out Bitcoin dominance here and see what we got going on. All right, Bitcoin dominance. Yep, continuing with the faltering action. Let's see, where's the next macro level? What the fuck? Looks like we already hit it, actually. Where did we get down to? 41.69. And again, this is a bit of a different read than what we do see on the Krown chain application. We're running a little bit different numbers there, but they are both standardized towards their current metrics. So this one will still play. And more importantly, where's our next like macro level? It's right around here in this little pocket. So we've almost hit it. We're seeing a little bit of activity around that region. And I'm inclined to say that the weekly is given a bad read right here, given trading view, because if we go to the weekly, you can see that there's a major wick down, yes, but look at the daily. It's not the same thing. The daily's continuation, very obviously, and I'm inclined to say that the daily is the right read here. So I do still think that there's a little bit more downside, but we are starting to get closer and closer to that bottoming area for at least a bounce on the Bitcoin dominance, which means that altcoin Bitcoin parents are going to be losing versus their Bitcoin parents for the most part in the greater whole of this market. So keep that in mind, but at least for now, still a little bit more down there, but we're very, 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 very close, I do think. Just a little bit more, so maybe like another week or two of this, and then I'll be looking for, at the very least, a bounce on that, and that's going to give some downside biases on altcoin Bitcoins, not necessarily on their US dollar pairings. That's more of a function of whether Bitcoin breaks down below the high term time frame range or not, which it has not just yet. I mean, it's just kind of playing within the high term time frame range. So I think I've said just about everything that I want to say right now for Bitcoin. Do we want to look at Dogecoin as well? We can go do a little bit of dog derp analysis. Nah, I figure we'll just wait that one out. All right, so let me see if I can pull up the early comments. You motherfuckers, you bastards. Again, I don't want to come off as unappreciative. At the same time, I do want it to be a good experience for everyone, and hopefully we can get through this as well as possible. Hey, what's up, Nimbo? I see you, our lovely moderator, keeping everyone nice and informed. Absolutely fucking awesome. Jack Frost, Crypto, Mr. Yasek, I see you all. MF Pump, fucking love it. All right, we got Richard Christensen. I found you, sir. Could you take a look-see at symbol NUE on the weekly? Okay, so this is like I think this is some like bullshit stock, apparently. This one keeps on coming up a bit. Let's see how it's doing. No, not a bullshit stock. Actually, pretty damn strong stock. Yes, we spoke about this one, I believe, either yesterday or the week prior. I'd still be bullish on this. There is hold on. Okay, you're looking at the weekly. I actually want to go down to the daily really quickly just to kind of see. Okay, short-term toppy, yes, very likely to come back down short-term. I'll be looking for a move back down, maybe just below $100. But overall, is the weekly in any way, shape, or form bearish? It sounds like you're more angled towards a higher-term time frame, so I'm inclined to give you a more high-term time frame analysis here within the context of the low-term time frames, which is a pullback. But as far as the high-term time frames go, do I think that this one's done? No, in fact, not even close as far as the long-term goes. This one is just hitting the 414 right here after the actual breakout out of a multi-year long consolidation. Sorry, not even multi-year long consolidation, a more than 10-year long consolidation. So do I think it's done right now? No, fuck no, I don't. I do think it probably plays down just below $100, somewhere around like 95 to 97 bucks, and then I'll be looking for another try to the upside over the next couple months, or maybe the next half year, somewhere around like 150 or so. That is going to be the more long-term analysis of this, which I think is what you're going for. So hopefully I got that right. I want to be as relevant as possible to what you're asking so that I can hopefully be of some use. Although that's just what I tell myself. YFI BTC, I like sandpaper, 1.11 hit. Okay, so we hit our target on YFI from whenever the fuck we last looked at it. Let's see what we're looking at now, Mr. Sir. We got Binance over here. And you're not giving me a time frame. You're asking about targets essentially. Okay, so we did hit the 1 target. Nice. And it actually, okay, this is actually a big deal right here. This one is having a reversal, and I would be extending those targets to about 1.25. That's gonna be the next major one right here from this breakdown. Do I think that things could top out there? Yes, that's a potential topping area. And then above there, we got this baby right here on this breakdown at 1.39. Let's see where you're at. You're saying 1.45 to 1.65. No, I think that you're getting a little bit too aggressive there, at least in the way that I trade. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is the furthest thing from financial advice. But your next like macro area is going to be this area right here. Just this last major calling a price action from October 2020 before this major breakdown, and then again your double top rejection in December 2020 as well. Above this level, that's when I start to get extremely bullish on this. But I would not just blindly say that it does get a run towards there. These would be my next relevant levels for the upside, and I would be looking for a bit of a range around those levels as well. So could it get up there? Yes, but I do think that you have a few things to worry about first and foremost. And again, with the Bitcoin dominance getting pretty close to a bit of a bouncy area, although still implying some upside and still implying more downside, which means upside for altcoin Bitcoin parents in the short term. I'm not necessarily certain that it could get all the way up there. If I'm looking at the weekly over here, yeah, it does certainly have some room to run. I think anywhere around 1.25 to 139, 140ish region is very likely. That's where the big tests do come though. All right, sweet. Let's move on. See what else we got. We got Mr. Adrian Collins. He says bonfire, like knife party. I remember hearing that song in a basement in Budapest, Hungary, at fucking 2 or 3 a.m. Fun times, man. Fun times living in a hostel. Anyways, what's up, Dan K? Hi, Krown. Can you look at IMMP on daily, weekly? All right, IMMP. Whoops. I can't spell. I can't spell at all. All right, on NASDAQ, what do we got here? Pretty good for the short term. I can see long term, though, it's going to be one of these shitcoin charts. But hey, we got a weekly golden cross. We are breaking above the prior range highs. I really like this sort of setup. So I do think that it is going to run quite significantly here. At least short term, I'd be looking for this one to retest your October 2018 highs. I don't think it'll stop there. I do think this one has more upside long term. But I absolutely fucking hate this. I absolutely fucking hate this chart. As far as the full history goes, and we have about 10 years of history here, so it is relevant to say that. But where would my target sort of be for something like this? I'd be looking somewhere right around here. This is kind of, I see a lot of wicks cumulative within this region, a few breakdowns around this region as well. And that's around 595 region. So I would be looking again short term for this area right here, probably a little bit of a short term pullback, and then another try higher. I like the weekly golden cross. I'm never going to hate that. This is also a very good example of a golden cross as well on a weekly reversal. That is usually extremely well respected, and I would be looking for this one, yes, to have some upside here. Long term though, I'm not so confident on this one. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, Saeed says, Zer, thoughts on Bitcoin being red last 2 weeks of the month for the last several months? I think that sort of analysis, and I'm not saying this about you, but I think that sort of analysis and that style of analysis is 100% complete bullshit. That is the same thing as astrology, which technical analysis already is. And so we want to get further away from astrology. No, my point is that, look, a lot of people have said something of similar effect to like Bitcoin, January is a bullish month for Bitcoin, or bearish month, whatever the fuck it is. More often than not, it's like, look, the reason why it is more often than not, because Bitcoin's going up more often than fucking not. It has nothing to do with the goddamn month. It's just like, look, man, it mostly goes up here. So that sort of analysis, I always push back on. I don't think that it matters. I don't think that it's relevant, and I think that it can only dissuade you as Bitcoin being red for the last 2 weeks of the month, for the last, I don't know. I mean, is this even true for one? Even if it is true, I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. Well, first off, it appears that it's not true, because that's not how it was in April. April obviously having 2 green dildos to close out the month, so already wrong on that, no offense. What about March? March, again, you do have this one as a red week, but the next week after that, it's green. So again, it's the premise is not even correct to begin with. So I'd have to respectfully say no, and I think that these sorts of things are really not the right way to be going about analysis. Like technical analysis is already fucking imperfect as it is, as is any analysis, of course, but that sort of like timing analysis I've never seen work over a long period of time. And even just back testing it for the past couple of months here, you can see that this has just not been the case to begin with. So I'd have to respectfully disagree on that, and I just don't think that it's I don't think it's the right way to be thinking, to be honest with you. All right, sweet. Emma Pump says, my wife, sir, please. What about your wife? Would you like to sell her for some more doggy coins? Because doggy coin is actually wrecked. Hey, what's up, Luke Crow? All right, Luke Crow says, hey, you have a very similar name, very similar last name to mine. Hey, Krown. Elsa says she wants the cum rocket. Okay, get your fucking cummies out, boyos and girlos, I suppose. Luke Crow says, hey, Krown, when you're done, god damn it. My fucking man, you understand me, sir. Can you look at cards USDT on the daily? Oh, dear Lord. Oh, this is a Cardano project. Okay, so it's not Cardano. It's literally symbol cards. Okay. All right, we'll look at this. I guess it's not on TradingView, unfortunately. So it looks like I cannot. Let me just make sure that I'm reading this properly, though. When you're done, can you look at cards UST on daily, weekly? Thanks, brother. Cardano prod. Okay, maybe you'd actually just meet Cardano. In that case, it's got to be ADA. I don't know if you're looking for cards. I don't fucking know because it's not on TradingView. I can't look at it. If you're talking about Cardano, I think you actually just put a very obvious bounce area right there. I do think that it's going to maybe swipe it one more time down to about 150, 153 ish region, but ultimately I'm not bearish on this one. Remember what we spoke about for the past few weeks here. There's this very, very clear and obvious move that happens a lot of times out of these obvious ranges here, where we have a trading range. In fact, I'm going to redo this because we really only need two trend lines for what I want to show right now. All right, we're going to put one right here. We're going to put one right here. Anytime that you have a trading range like this, almost always, especially in cryptocurrency land, you get the breakout, and then what happens? You get that first pullback that scares the shit out of everyone. Almost always, not always, but very often, that first pullback is a buy before trying to the upside. Now, in this case, there's a very obvious risk management area here too, right below the prior breakout area, which is 148. It looks like, or yeah, about 147 and a half. It looks like actually. So I would remain with that bias as long as that condition is met. That also means that if it does crack back down below this region right here, 147 and a half, I would look for some serious downside actually, down to about 117, 118 region. Somewhere back down around here, maybe try for another higher low. But at the outset, looking at the weekly, am I bearish on this? Nah, it's still a bullish bias here as far as the higher term timeframes go. Yes, at some point it will very likely inevitably reverse, but for now I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. I would still favor the upside here, and I still do remain with my long-term upside targets actually of about $2 plus. Looking at the 2-day momentum oscillators, I still like this read. Looking at the 3-day, still like that read as well. Looking at the daily, I don't like it as much, but it's still okay. I'd give it a chance here. I'd still remain bullish on it again, as long as above, especially like 148, we'll call it. All right, cool. What? Oh my lord! I just skipped on past where I need to be. Holy fuck, man! Things are flowing today too. Justin Meyer says XMR USD 4 hour and daily, please, and thank you. All right, that very very aware, very good manners too. Wow, it's that's quite the thing today. Okay, we got Monero over here, 432. You're looking at daily 4 hour. Okay, very similar chart to, or actually not very similar chart to what we just looked at, but I do want to check out the weekly. This is a clear bounce area. Backfill in the last weekly open. I'd be looking for it to bounce from here, kind of stair step its way up. And we can have a very obvious basing area for the daily as well, similar to Cardano. I'd say that that's 410. As long as it's above 410, I see no reason to be bearish on this one. If it comes back down below 410 and closes the daily or 12 hour below there, I'd look for a nice move down somewhere around the 55, which is in line with the last few lows here at about 350, if you will. Do I think that that's what's happening? No, I still remain with an upside bias here. The weekly is very, very similar to what we've seen on Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all of these other major assets as they accumulate, or sorry, as they trade sideways around their prior all-time high right here, then break out, get that first pullback, similar to what you saw on Bitcoin over here on this pullback, and then zoom to the upside. So I'm not necessarily bearish on it just yet, unless if it comes back down below that level that we just spoke about. Now, if you're asking about the 4 hour, do I think that we have some short-term downside? Yep, I do. In fact, short-term downside could easily come back down just below $400, but again, I would be looking for a bit of a bounce there and give it the benefit of the doubt overall. Technically speaking, we did get a jewel sell signal on the last high right here. And could it be argued that that's already played out? Maybe one more drive, but a good portion of that has played out. I mean, this is a nice move here, to be fair. We're talking about a 13% move off a 4-hour signal. Yeah, I do favor that, actually. So perhaps there's one more leg down there, but I do think that this one is rather close, and I would still remain long-term bullish on this one, at least for the time being, and as long as that condition is met. But be very, 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 very fast to switch below that region, because that will have a nice, nasty red dildo party if that does indeed happen. Mr. Z-Rex, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Maybe put a time frame on when to start sending requests. Yeah, I mean, I would figure like people would, well, I guess people don't really like understand that it's kind of like difficult to pull up those comments. Like, that's why I say that. It's actually like literally difficult to pull up a comment that happens at the beginning of the stream, because YouTube will like lose it after a certain amount of time. So I don't know, it feels kind of bad. It's like when someone gives you something and you feel inclined to give something back, right? Reciprocation. It's just like a natural human thing, but then you can't. It's like, fuck, this is messed up. Anyways, yeah, perhaps, yeah, man. You know what? You're probably right. Maybe I need to do a better job of explaining that. You know what, Z-Rex, you are always a voice of reason, man. So you know what? I think you're right, and I do need to implement something like that. Appreciate the very, very much appreciate the idea. Yeah. Chibley says, good morning, Krown. Can we look at poop perp on FTX? Looking to go balls deep on poop. Mommy won't let me say the S word. Okay, so if mommy won't let you say the S word, then we will go look at poop. Or is it shit perp? Is it poop perp? Is this a thing? No. But I do think that we actually have this. Yes, we do. Yes, we fucking do on FTX. What time frame are you looking at, though, sir? Hey, does your mommy not also let you talk about time frames either? What the fuck, mom? Anyways, short-term downside, yes, I'd be looking for this one to come back down 8,300-ish region. It looks like it's in a bit of a range right now. I'm not necessarily bearish on anything that looks like this long-term. Obviously not. But short-term, does it have a little bit of downside? Yeah, very likely, yes. But I would be looking for bounce within that region again, somewhere right around here, short term, just around, maybe just slightly below 8,300-ish region. Potential for more over time, but what I think is mostly going on here in shit perp is you're going to see some like this, some sort of a sideways range consolidation, similar to Bitcoin. Probably get like a higher low somewhere between the 55 and the 89 right here, and the longer that it goes sideways within some like this, very, very likely it does eventually resolve to the upside. But for now, short-term downside bias, daily TSI turning down, daily RSI is neutral, and if we go to the 4-hour, these would have a little more of a bearish twist, actually getting the same sort of jewel cell signal here too. Again, you could definitely argue that that's mostly played out here. I mean, this is a decent move already. 15.5% off of a 4-hour signal, so I'd have to say that that's it's mostly played out. Maybe one more leg, if that. Bless you, sir. Stupid Idiot says, it's just his name. If Bitcoin goes below 53,000, doesn't that make a lower swing high on the weekly, indicating a weekly reversal? Okay. So the question is, if Bitcoin goes below $53,000, does Bitcoin have a lower high on the weekly? No, because this is not a high or low structure right here. You have no stop and reverse point. This is what I think a lot of people get wrong about trying to judge highs and lows. I believe I have a free video on YouTube in the TA 101 playlist on how to judge local highs and local lows. But in this case right here, this is just a continuation move right here. It's a nothing. It's a Jesus toast. You need to see something obvious. So in this case right here, you have an obvious high. You have a stop and reverse point, you come down, you reverse, that's a low. That one's pretty fucking obvious. Same thing over here, comes down, reverses, that's an obvious low. And then this is just all continuation the whole way through. Where's your next high would be a good question. In fact, there is no, it's a trick question. There is no high right here. Here's your next actual high. Or if you are going to have a high, it would be right here, in fact, at $9,700. But the way that you'd be doing it is you'd be looking at this as a high right here, and it's just not. There's no stop and reverse. There's no, change behavior from that region, and we don't see that here either. So there's no break of a range. There's no confirmed local high. And in fact, I would even say that this is your only confirmed sort of high thus far within this whole formation as it stands on the weekly. It's very, 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 very important to err on the side of obviousness when looking at local lows and local highs. In fact, if you want an easy cheat code, go to the line chart, and what do you see right here? You see nothing is what you see. It's not obvious in the way that it should be as far as this goes. And in fact, if anything, I mean, could it be a local high? Yes, but I think it's a lot more obvious in like a daily, right? There you go. Now you've a stop. Now you've an obvious stop and reverse point. We'll go back to the dildos over here too, or even the bars would actually be good. All right, sweet. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's see. Mr. Meckin, there he is. Super googly. Hello, sir. Could you please have a look at BNB BTC on the daily? Yep. Okay, let's see. BNB BTC. We'll go Binance and we'll go daily, you say? Looking very, very good. Very fucking good. This one's bullish. It's going to very likely make new all-time highs today, if not tomorrow. There is nothing bearish about this chart in any way, shape, or form. Hidden bullish evidence off the last low to the prior high. This one's extremely likely to make new all-time highs alongside daily TSI in an upside posturing as well, or, you know, getting around there. I mean, it's a bullish bias, obviously, and on extremely low BBWP. So expansion is extremely likely to come to the upside. I think this one's ready to move, actually, in these next 48 hours, probably even today, if that. Do we have upside targets for this region here? No, because I don't chart this one ever. Could I make upside targets for something like this? Not really, actually. Not really. If anything, I'd actually put it on this chart over here and just see where the top side Trollinger bands are and see where this one starts to trend once again. And that would be above, yeah, basically your last local high. So I don't really have any like major targets to be made except for maybe, well, no, it's going to be contracted on here too because the BBWP is very, very low right now. So that's not going to give us too much. I suppose if I had to make a more muted extension on this, I'd be looking for like a short-term move up to 0.0122-ish region, and then very likely continuation up to 0.013-135 region. I do like this one. This one looks really fucking good. And oh yeah, the weekly's way the hell up there too. Yep, I'm looking for expansion here, and I'm looking for expansion to the upside actually. All right, sweet. Mr. Richard Christensen says, I'm not seeking financial advice, but is Cheesecake Factory on the weekly going to screw me? Well, probably. I mean, if you eat it too much, it'll make you just fat. So there's that. But it tastes really good. So there you go. Okay, so is it going to screw you on the weekly? I don't think so. No. We have a golden cross right here. We have a break of the weekly trend. We have a break of the range highs as well. No, I'd be very much bullish on this one, but I'd be looking for a range to kind of occur here. So it seems to me that, if you're looking at the weekly, you're playing the high-term time frame. So you can't really be too concerned about short-term time frame moves. You got an obvious range right here between about 57 to 64 and 35 cents. As long as it bakes within that region right there, I'm overall bullish on it. The longer that it goes sideways within this region, the better. And once it breaks out to the upside, I would be looking for this one to, make new all-time highs. It would be in price discovery. But overall, I do like this chart for what it's worth right now on the long term. Short term, however, does it come back down? Yeah, it very likely comes back down. At least short term to like 60, 40-ish region, maybe a little bit lower than that. Another higher low, somewhere around the 57, 50-ish region would be completely fine as well. Overall, though, again, as long as it holds this level on a weekly or just holds above this last wick low at $55, I am long-term bullish on it. And no, I don't think it's going to screw you other than your fucking cholesterol levels or shit like that. Which you may or may not be concerned with. I know I'm fucking not when I'm at Cheesecake Factory myself, man. I took Elsa to Cheesecake Factory when she visited Chicago, and it was like heaven for her because she's never seen anything like that. She's also never seen what American fat is like either, and it's quite the thing for a European to see for the first time. And look, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad right now. I'm trying to celebrate beautiful at all sizes, right? And you know what? Elsa was celebrating beautiful at all sizes at Lou Ferragno's Pizzeria. It was really fucking interesting right there, man. She's never seen that. She's like, why are there scooters in the supermarket? I'm like, well, sometimes people eat them. It's like, how do I explain this? Well, sometimes people eat themselves into very weird shapes and they can no longer walk in the supermarket, so they take a scooter there. That's America, baby. Things are too fucking easy for us, man. They're too fucking easy for us, and it's going to be our demise. It's going to be all bad. But hey, enjoy it while it lasts, my friend, because we might not have to deal with the consequences ourselves, but our children certainly will. Anyways, Pablo Sal says, Bonjour, Monsieur Krown. Bonjour, mon ami. Please look Peloton Weekly. Okay, Peloton Weekly. Gotcha. Is it Peloton or is it Peloton? Oh, no, it's Peloton. Okay, there we go. All right, on NASDAQ, we got Piton, yeah. Bad, very bad. I'm still bearish on this one. I was bearish on this one last week. I'm bearish on this one today. I'm bearish on this one in the future. Looks fucking shitty, man. Looks fucking shitty. Short term, I'm still looking for 75 and a quarter. Probably a bounce there. Continuation long term down below $50. Really, really bad chart. Really fucking bad chart right there. Big volume on the drop below the neckline here too. This is one of the few times where I'd say this is a very obvious head and shoulders. Measure move is actually pointed well below $50 in fact. Nasty, man. Very, very nasty. Frankie Corsetti says, can you give some targets weekly? I don't give targets, man. CWRK. Behaves like Mara Riot, reacting off Bitcoin, guessing some downside, hopefully a buck entry. Okay. Currency works. I'm guessing it's this thing right here. And not as much history as like a Riot or GBDC, or what's the other one that you listed out? Yeah, Mara. Yeah, I'd be looking for a little bit of downside here, to be fair, but I'm not so confident on this one, generally speaking. I do think it likely gets a move down somewhere around about 106. I'm pretty much in line with you. I'd be looking for a bounce there too. I think it's easier to look for Bitcoin on direction on these things, though. This thing is certainly not as liquid as some of the other shitcoin stocks that you listed there too. So I would honestly say, hey man, you know, is there really like a reason to trade something like this over, say, a Riot or a Mara if you really want to play those? Because they are kind of like, you know, similar things anyways. You know, that's obviously something for you to decide for yourself, but I would say this thing, you know, it looks like it does want to come back down to about $1. I'd be looking for a bounce there. The question is, does it try a reversal there? I would not be comfortable having an opinion on that just yet, but yes, I do agree with you that the monthly is putting in a high right here, and it's time to trade down a bit, somewhere around $1, and then look for a bounce, and then we'll come back to it after that. But I don't have enough history here to really be going off of anything that is super relevant. I think it'd be easier to just watch Bitcoin, to be honest with you. That's very likely is going to follow that, of course. I mean, you see this rally starting over here. This was all the back in November. That was about the time that Bitcoin really started getting going as well. So it follows it somewhat well. Hambone Crypto says XPR or XRP. I'll look at XPR if that's a thing. XPR USD, is this a thing? It is a thing. Proton Mainnet. I like protons, man. They make you nice and strong. This thing has a terrible chart, though. We have a shitty chart, baby. Oh, we got an even shittier chart right now. This is looking good, man. Do we have the shittiest chart of the day? I don't think so. I don't think that we can award this one the shittiest chart of the day award just yet. Pretty fucking bad, though, man. Pretty fucking bad. Only goes down over the long period of time. Just puts in another macro high. Yep, I'm looking for this one to come back down to 0.007, whatever the fuck. Does it try a bounce first? Maybe. I don't know. Did you give a time frame on this one? Oh, you did. Okay, so I'm way off then. Sorry. Let me go down to your time frames that you specified. Okay, 4 hour right here. Yep, I'd still be looking for some downside actually. TSI freshly turning down, 4 hour RSI giving some hidden bearish divergence. Expansive volatility read right there too. Daily is, I'd be looking for another try for a bounce somewhere right off the 200 symbol actually, and then see where things land after that. If you start to see wow, we already do have the cross between the 21 and the 55. Yeah, kind of nasty there, man. I do think it's going to be due for a bounce relatively soon, but short term is another downside move first. Very likely, assuming that you were talking about that one, not XRP, which is just a somewhat shift between those two letters right there. Hey, what's up, Fox and Hound? X NASDAQ. Do you mean symbol X, ticker X on NASDAQ? You mean this? Okay, I think that's what you do mean. Or maybe, okay, do you mean it on NASDAQ or NYSE? I mean, it's going to be the same thing anyways, but I'm guessing you're talking about this. 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. Thank you, fine sir. All right. Daily is looking a little bit short-term toppy, but I'm not so sure that applies to the weekly and monthly. Yeah, weekly looks good here. I like the reversal on the weekly. I respect that a lot. Golden Cross is going to be incumbing no matter what on the weekly, as long as it remains above this last higher low right here. So I would say this, my friend, I would say I'd remain long-term bullish on this as long as it holds the last higher low at $22. This will inevitably get a Golden Cross, and then I'll be targeting big moves to the upside. I'm talking about a move towards 37 and some odd change, about 37 and a quarter, and then potentially even for a long-term move up to about 45 and a quarter region. But for right now, yeah, I do favor the upside there. Monthly is decent as well. Yes, it is a somewhat of rejection at the 200s thus far, but I don't think that one holds through. Momentum oscillators would disagree with that. Monthly TSI just getting above the zero bias there too into the bull zone. So I would favor continuation overall. But if you're talking about the daily, does it play out a little bit of a short-term pullback? It kind of looks like it mostly got it already. Maybe plays another move back down to like 25 and a quarter, but it sounds like you're angled towards the long-term, and long-term I'd actually remain bullish on this one. It's still good. It actually might have already even played out this pullback here. Daily RSI and daily TSI are fine. Looking good for some more. Just Quasm says, hey sir, hello sir. Fair to assume as Bitcoin potentially moves down to $45,000, altcoins will follow the same downward trend? Yes. More often than not, for 99.9999% of altcoins, they will follow Bitcoin versus US dollar, but the Bitcoin parent is a different story, obviously. In this case, looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, I do think that would obviously make them falter versus the Bitcoin chart, as that's a lot closer to a major Basin area than it is not. So yes, I would strongly agree with you, and yeah, 100%, man, 100%. That is a history that we do have. we have really not ever seen like a full-on bifurcated market where Bitcoin's in like a weekly downtrend and altcoin XYZ is in a weekly uptrend, for example. You know, we see it on the smaller time scales, but that's a smaller time scales. When you even going down to like a daily, it's very, 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 very rare to see, you know, a major going against Bitcoin's direction, for example, for a prolonged period of time. So yeah, I would 100% agree with you. Ben says, appreciate all your TA work, sir. UFO alien metals on London. That is a great name for a stock. Oh my God. UFO, okay, on London Stock Exchange. All right. Thank you for specifying the exchange, because otherwise I would have gone to ARCA there. Yep, looks good here, at least on the daily. I'd be looking for some short-term upside. 135 is the next short-term move that I'd be looking for. Weekly is really shitty. Whoa, do we have the shittiest chart of the day? Actually, pretty fucking bad chart right here, but I would favor short and medium term upside. So first target was whatever the fuck I just said. I think it was like 135. Weekly target is going to be somewhere just north of $2, right around here is where I'd be looking towards. Now I would be willing to get long-term macro bullish on this thing if it could put in a monthly reversal, which is not happening anytime soon. It's not happening anytime soon. But I do think that you have a lot of upside here, actually. And I would not be surprised at all to see this one hit $2 over the next couple of months. This one does have some upside here. It's got a lot of room to run, and it does have a change of behavior and volume. So, you know, it actually could be reversal. It's a potential. It's still within the cards, I would say. But I'd remain skeptical of it as long as below about $2. Above $2, that's the next sort of major area that I'd be cognizant of, because that's going to very likely propel a move back up somewhere around about 633, fill that gap, and then probably sell off after that and continue with the long-term downtrend. Handbone Crypto says Polkadot USD on the 4-hour and daily. All right, so that is symbol DOT, I believe. DOT USD on Binance, and holy whoops, that is a monthly. You are looking at a what? You're looking at 4-hour and daily. All right, no higher term time frames allowed. Daily looking a little bit downside to me. I'll be looking for another test down to the 89 here at about $33.5. Looking at the 4-hour, same shit. You know, does the 4-hour bounce first, though? Maybe back up to 37.5 short term. Maybe. You know, it really wouldn't take much. And typically your first test down into the bearish control zone will get rejected after being away from there for a while. So I probably would be looking for an extremely short-term time frame bounce first, then another continuation drive, and then probably tries for a low somewhere around there, which would eventually be a higher low. You have a very obvious trading range here in unison with Bitcoin as well. You got your highs right here. You already fucking know this, so I'm not gonna feed eggs to grandma right now. Overall though, short term a little bit of downside, and then I'd be looking for to try another higher low somewhere around there. First and foremost, go with a long term trend, and then it is time to get bearish below about 29.25. That is. All right, sweet. Do they play this stream in Guantanamo? Says Parallax Services. Very clever, sir. Very fucking clever indeed. Yes, man. And you know how I actually troll my girlfriend. You know how I absolutely terrorize my girlfriend. I will play like 5 of my videos at the same time and make it at 2x speed, and then I say, "This is what hell sounds like," and then she goes, "Fuck!" in her very high pitched parrot voice. Anyways. Stupid. Oh my lord, man. Okay, there is a lot of comments today. Wow. All right, so we got Polkadot. It's Kevin fucking one, baby. KSM Ethereum Kraken daily. Okay. KSM Ethereum. All right. Fair enough. Very bad. Very fucking bad. Very, very, very bad. I'd be looking for this thing to come back down to 0.087, 0.088 region. Or sorry, 0.088 to 0.089 region, and probably bounce there. Very shitty chart though, long term. Although I would be looking for a relief bounce there. Long term though, does this thing absolutely? Yeah, this thing's going for a retrace. For the full retrace. Enjoy the full retrace. Polkadot decoded big event on May 20th. Should send it. Sir, Kevin, did you not learn anything from the fucking doggy event? Sir, oh no. You've learned nothing. Sorry, man. I don't mean to make an example out of you, but look, man, you should be extremely wary of events like this. Do you think that the market just like lets you know exactly when the event's going to happen? It's like, hey guys, we have an event coming up. Make sure to buy because it's definitely going to be going up after that, all the way to the fucking moon and more. Just like Elon. Fuck. Just like. Just like everything that gets pumped up, right? No, I don't think that that's happening right here. Short term is down, probably does play out a bounce before this region. Now, if that happens around May 20th, hey, there you go. You got your shitty bounce, but you got a shitty chart as well. Look, man, I'm not saying this thing might not be good, but you're charting a altcoin versus a rather bullish altcoin. So probably gonna be difficult for that one, to be honest with you. Now, does it do better versus US dollar? I'd imagine so. But if you're looking specifically for Ethereum, which you specified, no, I absolutely despise this chart. Actually, it's a very bad chart. Very fucking nasty chart. Hey, what's up, Sebastian? Hi from Texas. Man, it must be late as hell for you over there. By the way, one of the best states in the United States right now. So you are one lucky fucker. New to crypto, and your videos have helped a lot. Hey, man, very glad to hear that, man. Very glad to hear that, and welcome. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Can you check out stock LEXX? I'm in deep at 633. Okay, in deep. What does that mean, man? All right, Luxera. Oh, Jesus, biotechs. Look, man, I used to trade traditional markets. That's where I started my career, and biotechs are something that I would avoid like the fucking plague. They pump and dump out of nowhere, as you can see right here. What's this? What's this? Someone turn on the fucking volumizing bot once again. All right, sweet. Okay, anyways, okay, so you're saying you're in at 633 deep. Okay, so you are in the red right now. Meant to be a day trade turned into a swing. Sir, if there's one thing that I could just critique for a second there, I know you didn't ask for this, but it sounds like you are newer here. It sounds like you're newer to trading and whatnot. Okay, when you go into a trade with a plan, it is extremely bad practice to change that plan intra trade, because it essentially shows that you are hoping and praying now. Your original idea did not work out, and now you are essentially turning this into what you call a swing trade. I don't think that that's a wise thing to get into the habit of. Now, do I think that you get out of this one alive with your skin still in? Yes, I do actually. You got some regular you got some regular bullish divergence over here. Yeah, you got a jewel buy signal as well on the weekly, but this is going to take some time to play out. So it actually, funnily enough, you actually made a pretty fucking good trade. Hey, what the fuck is going on here? Hold on. There's something bizarre going on here, sir. When I go to the weekly, we have all this history. When I go to the daily, we do not. Something very bizarre is going on here. I don't know what to. I don't know what the right read is on this. Let's see. Maybe I can pull up the other one. Hold on. It might be this one over here. Let's see. Is it this thing? The fuck is it? This thing's even worse. Chart. It's short-term bullish though. Okay. I have to say. Okay, if I'm just looking at this right here, it's okay. If I look at the weekly, I do think that you are going to bounce out of this region. I do think that you're probably going to bounce somewhere up to like maybe 10 and a half, $11 over the next couple months here. Several bullish signs are kind of accumulating. See weekly TSI turning up. It's still in the bearish buy zone, to be fair. Weekly Jewel giving a bit of a buy signal there as well. Weekly RSI giving some bullish divergences on a phantom read, and BBWP is very, very low, but not looking for expansion just yet. I think it's going to take a little bit more time going sideways here. Probably going to test you a little bit more, maybe even come back down to $5, but I do think that it will dig itself out of this current hole and give another try back up to like 10 and a half to $11. But again, I would say that you actually, like, funnily enough, your change of trade actually is, well, it's going to be the more right thing to do, to be fair, assuming that this is the right chart that we're looking at right here. But I think that that's a really bad habit to get into in the long term. When you go into a trade with a plan, it's extremely important to kind of stick to that plan, because it's likely at least I find myself when I change my plan intra trade, it almost never goes properly, and it's typically out of a desperation type move. Now, for you, this actually doesn't seem to be the case here. So maybe I'm just speaking my own personal biases. But overall, if this is quite indeed the chart that you wanted to see, because I'm not even positive on that, I would be looking for this one actually to try some upside. Over the next couple months here. I do think you see a little bit of activity right here, but again, it's a biotech, right? It's a biotech, so I imagine they have some sort of drug phase trials going on, and that's what is being run off of. You actually have some bullish divergence on the monthly as well. I have to favor some upside here, yes, but long term, do I love it? It's hard to say on this one. I want to make sure that we're actually talking about the right thing, the same thing first. Mr. Riz says, morning, sir. CRO USD, 4 hour and daily. Muchos love, Brotang. Muchos love as well. It's me, senor. Let's see. CRO USD. And this is, crypto.com. Yeah, it's the formerly known as Monaco. We'll go to Bittrex for this one. It should have I was going to say it should have the most history, but I guess it doesn't. I guess when they rebranded it, took it away. But let's see. What are you looking at? You're looking at the 4 hour and daily. Well, at least for the information that, oh, wow, shitty. We got a shitty chart. Oh, we have a shitty chart. I would be looking for a retest of the prior lows here, somewhere around 14 and a half, maybe even 14 and a half region, probably short-term bounce there. I don't know if this one's going to survive that bounce though. This is pretty bad. Looking at the higher term timeframes like the weekly, It's going to play out a bounce first and foremost there. Yes. Does it falter through that level and then make its way down towards like 12 and a half or 12 and 3/4 cent? I think so. Yes. I would favor that, but I want to see more history here. I know that we do have more history for Monaco because this one's been around since like 2017. So maybe if we go to like Derp Coin over here, it'll have more. Yeah, it certainly does have more here. Yeah, here we go. Here's that shitty chart I wanted to see. We got the rolling hills of distribution over here, but first and foremost, a little bit of a bouncy bounce. You know, it's in a bounty territory here. This thing can bounce up all the way, maybe even to 17 cents. But I remain long-term bearish on this one as long as it's below about 20 cents or 19 and a half cents. You could say just this last lower high right here. Actually, more akin to about 19 and a quarter. Okay, fair enough. Elaine, we have Litecoin over here. Elaine. Oh shit, Litecoin getting smacked on the face. Let's see. Again, I typically these first pullbacks after the break of the parallel time high are buys. I'm not too worried about this one, to be honest with you. You know, you have a very obvious range going on here too. Here's your last break of the last prior high, basically in line with the 21 exponential average, right around 307. Let's just say 310, rounded up there. I would say as long as this one is above 310, I'd be looking for this one to continue onwards and upwards. I wouldn't really be shaken by a move like that just yet. Again, typically the first sort of pullback on those moves is going to be a buy after the break of the prior all-time high. Same thing on the weekly as well here. I'm not too concerned with this. I mean, we got weekly hidden bullish divergence, multiple drives, weekly TSI turning up at the same time on expansive BBWP. I'd be looking for this one to continue onwards and upwards. Short term, you know, can easily base back down just below 340, but I don't look at that as too concerning. I still like this one, actually. I would still like this one. I would, however, massively change my bias below 310, however. Below 310, I'd get very, very bearish for moves. Well, I don't know if bearish is the right term, but I'd be looking for big moves down to like 250-ish region maybe time. Alrighty, there we go, baby. There we go. MM says XEM USD weekly monthly Poloniex. Oh, this is NEM. This is NEM. Holy fook. Where's Derek? I know Derek remembers NEM blockchain. Holy shit, man. Oh, actually, you asked about Poloniex. I mean, it's not gonna matter too much if you're looking at the. Oh, you are looking at the weekly monthly. Okay, all right. Then we'll look at. Then we do need a long-term chart here, so we will go to Poloniex. Actually, yes. Okay, here we go. All right, you're looking at, well, daily's down. I'd be looking for them to move back down to like 31 cents. But, okay, you are looking for weekly, monthly specifically. Weekly, I'd probably be looking for another base somewhere around the last weekly low, like 27.5 cent. Monthly, I'm not bearish on this one in the monthly. I think this one's going to follow the rest of the market more or less. And what do you know? The 10 simples coming in where? Yeah, right around about 26.5 cents. So both the daily and the weekly kind of showing us activity in the same regions. Short term, does that imply a little bit of downside? Yes, it would. But ultimately, I do think that this one will get another try to the upside. Long term, it looks like. But short term, yes, a little bit of downside. But then again, you didn't ask about the short term, so maybe I should just shut my stupid fucking mouth about that. And you can enjoy. So you can enjoy. Actually, let's double check on the monthly. Yeah, it's probably pulls through here, to be fair. Then again, what if this is your next monthly lower high? Got a big problem if that happens, but that's still a little bit farther away. How would you know if this is going to be the next monthly lower high? If we check out the low side of this consolidation, which is 21.72, then yeah, I'd say that's rather concerning. Jordan Chen says comp USD on the 4-hour cum rocket incoming. Oh dear lord. My cummies. My fucking cummies. All right, we got comp USD over here. We'll go to Binance for this one. You're looking at the 4-hour. Is this cum rocket? Is this actually cum rocket or no? It's not. 4 hours good. I'd be looking for some short-term upside. 835 region, just around the last prior high, or sorry, more like 850. This one looks like it's ready to trend again, man. This one's good. One of the best charts that we've seen today, actually. Very, very good. And there's no reason to be bearish on this one as long as it's above about 715, that last higher low right here. Looking good, looking strong. And we actually could even make some projections on this one too. Let's see what we got. We got something like this, and it's based off of the 2 spot right here. Okay, nice. But I do believe that the next move it makes above that is going to actually break it. And then your next target's going to be between about $950 and $1,000 actually. This is good. This is good. One of the better charts we've seen today. Pretty damn nice. Charlie Pips says XRP USD 4-hour, please. Oh, baby, you knew someone was going to ask about it, Mr. XRP over here. And you're looking at the 4-hour. Daily's down, but let's look at the 4 hours you asked. 4-hour, a little bit of a short-term bouncy bounce. Wait, let me siphon this off. Yeah, typically this move over here, this sort of a read on 4-hour RSI is going to get a first bounce out of this region almost always. Does it bounce back up towards like 148.5? I think it very easily could, but I'd still be cautious on it. Daily still downside angled. Ultimately, I'd like to see daily come back down to like 120 and base off there a bit. We do see daily TSI still remain with the down. Daily RSI is neutral. Not giving us too much on that one, and BBWP has given us obvious signs of consolidation, so I'd be looking for this one to essentially just create a range, probably try for a higher low somewhere around 120 overall. But you asked about the 4 hour specifically, and the 4 hour specifically, I'd actually be looking for a little bit of upside here if anything, but yeah, I'll just leave it there. What about the 12 hour, just for a little bit more of a bias? Yeah, short-term bounce probably gets sold into. Pablo Sal says the stream is way better than the Elon Musk news. Please look at Twitter Stock Weekly. Many thanks, bro. Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you. That's that's very kind of you. TWTR looking nasty on the 12 hour, looking bouncy on the weekly. Okay, yeah, you're looking at the weekly. I'd be looking for a bounce here off the weekly. I know you didn't ask about it, but short-term time frames, could they try a little bit lower first? Yeah, probably a little bit lower. Probably around 50 even, and then I'd be looking for a bit of a bounce there. Does the bounce get sold into or not is a real question. And on first pass, I don't know, do I like or hate this chart long term? I'd give it a chance to bounce first. How high can it bounce? I think 57 to 58 bucks is certainly not out of the question. That'd actually be rather likely. Long term though, it depends. I'd want to see this one like actually next week or the week after that. That's when I really want to see it. But I would give it a chance to bounce here on the weekly first. We do potentially have hidden bullish evidence to be made here as well. That's kind of why I want to wait on this one. If it puts in a higher low right here, you will have hidden bullish evidence, and that's going to insinuate targets back up to like 63 or 64. But even just on a bearish retracement here, 57-ish region is to 58 is kind of where I'd be looking towards, maybe over the next like week or two. But I really want to come back to this one next week and see where it's at, because I think that's going to be a lot more telling. Maybe the monthly has something more to say. Yeah, monthly looks a lot more toppy to me. But first and foremost, a bounce off the 10 symbol is rather likely on your first pass there after a while of being away from it. Alrighty, sweet. Hey, what's up, Iams? Holy shit, man. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing well, man. It's good to see you, brother. It's really good to see you. It looks like you're you got all the shit coins as well, man. Fucking love it, man. Fucking love it. All right, so you're looking at symbol ACT USD. Yeah, maybe we can look at this really quick. A chain. Okay, man, you got all these things that like I've never even heard of before. Hip BTC, Huobi, and OKX. Nice one, Iams. Fucking nice one, man. If you're not familiar with Iams, he always got like these fucking hidden gems that just seem to do something out of nothing. It's actually quite the thing. Anyways, looking at the daily right here, I would be looking for this as a bit of a range, but I actually do kind of like it on the daily. You do see an obvious reversal going on right here. This one's definitely a laggard to the market, and we do have this nice higher low structure coming in from our last few lows right here. Probably be looking at something like this. Oh, what do you know? It lines up with the 89. So short term probably does come back down here, but I'll be looking for a higher low here. I see no reason to be bearish on this thing as long as it's above about, what is this area? Is this versus cents? Yeah, 1 3/4 cent. As long as it's above this last higher low right here, no real reason to be bearish on it. Short term, does it come down? Yeah, it very likely comes down here a little bit short term, but the weekly has a reversal in. And what's the feeling of this market right now? The feeling of this market is that most things are kind of getting free rides to the upside, and this thing hasn't really gotten its free ride to the upside just yet, just barely. So I'd actually favor this one for now. Long term, where are your areas of interest? You got an obvious one right here. Actually, several bases around this region right here. Rejection. That's at just above 5 cents. We could just say 5 cents. Above there, I'd look for like the major macro run, and that's where you're probably going to retest like your pro demise, or at least 45 cents or something like that. So it would look pretty damn good. So I'd actually be lenient towards this one. Short term down, yes, but I would be looking for bounce within that region as well. Again, man, good to see you, brother. Tom Yao says ICP mins on CB. Okay. What is mins? ICP, symbol ICP. Okay. And you're saying it's on Coinbase. Is that right? New listing today, now top 5 in market cap already. Everyone, what do y'all target for the short term? I mean, if it just got listed today, there's probably going to be any history for it. So I don't think going to Coinbase is going to be relevant. We have to go to like these shitcoin exchanges over here and let's see what this thing hasn't even. Look, man, you're asking the wrong person for this. I can't analyze a shitcoin that has no history, like literally a day, literally one day. Now, for the history that we do have on the hourly, do I think that it trades up from here? Yes. Do I have a price target for this? Fuck no, man. There's no TA to be done on something like this, man. It's way too new. There are some trading styles that are relevant for like new listings and whatnot, but that's not my game, and I'm not the person to ask for that. I'm not going to be the best person to ask for that. So I think it's best that I just don't even give you opinion, except for short term. Yeah, it probably trades back up to like the around the ICO dump or whatever the fuck this is, like somewhere around $600. But do I favor this one? I don't have an opinion on this one. Accordingly. Triple Q? You want to look at Triple Q? How the fuck do you know Triple Q? Elsa's calling out Triple Q as one of the most important indices. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Alchemist says, thank you, sir, for being who you... Hey, man, I appreciate that. Hey, I like your symbol there, too, man. That seems like very psychedelically inspired. I like that, man. I've always wanted to get a tattoo of like something, something psychedelic, just to, just as a reminder. And it seems like your symbol right there, your avatar specifically, that could actually be it. Is that called a Metatron? Is that what it is? I don't know what it is, but it's fucking cool, man. Reminds me of a lot. Gringenstein says, greetings. Hello, Mr. Gringenstein. How are you doing over there at Hogwarts? Having fun. Here's a fun pair. Cake B&B. Okay, Cake B&B, 4 hour and daily. Is this Cheesecake Factory again? Versus BMB, huh? All right, so we got... Jesus, man. These food coins are funny. Down. I'd be looking for short-term down. What 4 hour and daily. Okay, daily. Daily's in an uptrend long term, or at least the long term analysis that we do have. You got your rising bottoms essentially coming in right around the 89 here. I do think that you probably trade down there and try for another higher low. This is essentially shaping up to be some sort of a reaccumulation right here. Again, assuming that this level does hold. Now below 5 cents, yeah, you got some, or it's not 5 cents, it's 5 BMBs or 5 CZs, man. Here's your fucking CZ coin. Below there, yeah, you got a reversal, and obviously this is going to be pretty fucking nasty. And probably come all the way down to like 0.36 CZs, but I don't think that that's what's happening right here. I think this one just has a little bit of short-term downside. We'll go down to the 4 hour. Yep, it does have some short-term downside. Yeah, 0.52 is a little bit of a short-term bouncy point, but I'd really be looking for a move down here, and I'd give it a chance to actually put in a higher low. All momentum also just showing some downside. 4 hour RSI hidden bearish divergence, multiple drives. 4 hour TSI down and in the bearish buy zone. Yep, and this is on expansive volatility as well. So I'd be looking for this one to try some downside here. But long term, respect the uptrend at least until it's actually broken. MF Pump, hello, sir. If Finland gets too cold, oh, sir, you don't know me well enough, man. I never get too cold. Australia has lovely weather on the other side and great spearfishing. Spearfishing, that actually sounds pretty cool. I like eating fish. So many Aussie cavians, you might be... I actually really do... I really appreciate the Australians in the world, man. So I used to travel a lot in my early and mid 20s, and anytime I'd like be traveling around Europe, for example, you'd always meet like these stray fucking Australians who they go out on their own, they're independent as fuck, they're funny as fuck, and they are like they're the kind of people that you want to go to a bar with late at night and shoot the shit with. Always been fucking great people. Remember this one guy, this fucking one massive Australian guy, massive dreadlocks, and just actually I don't think I can tell that story online because that's a bannable offense, but great guy, really fucking good guy. Really fucking good guy, man. Yeah, it's actually funny, man, because I do need to figure out, I need to figure out 3 places in the world that I need to base in. So I'm going to have a base in Finland. I'm going to have a base probably in Portugal, and then maybe Australia could be another one. Although I think Elsa might get too scared of like the, snakes and spiders and all that good shit. How do you feel about that, sir? Would you like to have a massive Nimbo-sized spider in your bedroom as you wake up on your face? No, but I want to go to the beach. You're shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck, sir. They got jellyfish there too that'll fucking kill you. I got a lot of respect for Australians, man. They are typically very good people, and New Zealanders too. Very good people. Very fucking good people. Admiral Blue says, could you check out ETC USD on Huobi 1 and 4 hour? Okay. ETC US derp. You said Huobi specifically. All right. Okay. Well, do we have to? All right, we can. All right, okay. 1 hour and 4 hours. Is there a hodl, the short signal? Oh, you're talking about on the Jewel? Yeah, there is. There is a hodl your short signal right here. That was right before that first little leg down at about 120 down. Oh my God, 120 down to 90. That's a pretty big move right there, actually. Yeah, it looks like it probably does get a short-term bounce here, but I mean, could you argue that that's already kind of played out? This is a nice move already. That's a 25% move almost. I mean, a 4 hour signal is not supposed to be like a fucking moon signal or a doom signal, to be honest with you. But if it does have another leg down, I'd first look for another base right around 96 to 95. If that one fails, I'd be looking somewhere right around 80 bucks. See what the daily looks like really quickly. Daily's more bouncy here first. So I'm inclined to say that it probably tries a bounce first. And I am also very inclined to say that the downside is probably played out from that signal if you are looking at it in that way. Again, I mean, that's a 25%, more than 25% move from signal given to next low. You know, if the blue oscillator gets to the fib on this level right here, I'd say that it's bouncy territory. It's not continuation territory just yet. The only way that I look for continuation is below, actually very easily put right here, this last local low right here, and also the structural low right here at about 93 bucks. I'd be looking for a bounce first and foremost, probably a bounce back up to like 113 and then see where it lands from there. I'm actually not too confident on this one. You also asked about an hourly too. Hourly is doing what? What are we doing in the hourly here? Hourly is in more of a bouncy posturing as well. So I'm more inclined to say that this one bounces first, then we come back and decide. But above 120, above what is this? Yeah, about 120, 122. I'm not bearish on it. I'd actually be looking for this one to pop all the way back up to 140. So a bit of a range here. I really only get bearish on this one below about what is this area right here? About 93 bucks. So I think a little bit. I think that move's pretty much played out, man. 25% is a lot. You know, that's a lot. Especially if you stack those up, you know, multiple days on end, which this market actually gives to you rather often. Mr. Plums is in the house. I see you. Hey, what's up, Lori? How you doing, man? We got Captain in the house, flying around from all fucking locations in the world. Absolutely love that guy, man. Captain is fucking great. Captain's fucking great because he's our resident boomer, and I say that with love. You and Cromwick are resident boomers, and both you guys I actually really like because Cromwick's great because he gets into like these arguments with fucking Pena in Sacred, and they're so good. They're so fucking good. And Crom's a good guy. I mean, all those guys are good guys. I like them all. And then Captain over here flying around, man, giving his analysis. I mean, we have a good fucking crew there, man. We have a really good fucking crew. Good to see you, man. I'm guessing you're probably texting from way deep in the skies too. That's awesome. Hey, what's up, Burn Creme? Damn, no soundboard. No soundboard just yet, sir. It has to be deserved. You have to earn the soundboard for a shitty chart. And right now, we haven't really seen like a whole hell of a lot of shitty charts in this market. Okay, sweet. Kendrick DeCamp says, the Dominicans are back. They are back. Fucking nice. The Dominicans making some excellent trades yesterday, too, apparently, as I followed up on that. Captain Krown, scourge of the preemptive derp requests before schedule. My fucking man. Elsa, when will Telcoin USD bow to Bitcoin and fill the 4 to 5 cent gap? All right, let's check it out. DEL USD. Let's see. Okay, so you want some Elsa analysis? All right. Elsa, get over here. This one's not bearish, man. I'm not bearish on this one. Well, Mr. Kendrick wants to know when this one comes back down, but I don't think it's coming back down here. I think this one has another upside move. Let's see. All right, Elsa's going to come over here. The question is, when did this thing go back down to 5 cents? When? When, sir? We need an answer from you, and this is not a financial advice. 2041. What does that mean? Don't know, but it's probably some sort of a code. And actually, I'd be bullish on this one, man, at least for the short term. Hidden bullish divergence off that last low right there around your Protimai. I'm never going to hate that. Daily is a little bit more under pressure, yes, but I think this one has one more move, Mr. Kendrick. And then perhaps plays a little bit of downside. But for now, I'd actually remain bullish on this one short term. Probably for a retest of at least the 6.5 cent or what is it, 6.5 cent or 6? About 6 and some odd change cent high right there. Sweet. Carlos Martinez says, hey, hello, sir. Can you break down PDEX USD? Sure. This is a new one for me. I don't think I've ever seen this one. Polkadex. All right. On Derpcoin, well, at least, or did you give any time frames? No, you did not. Hourly's down. 4 hour is sideways as fuck and down. Daily is a downtrend. We got some down action over here, baby. I'll be looking for this one to come back down to like 15 bucks or so. I don't really have a long-term opinion on this. It's really not a whole hell of a lot of history, but short-term, yeah, a little bit of downside there implied. And then I'd be looking for a bounce somewhere around like $15 to $15.50. Okay, Mr. Dan K, how you doing, brother? Can I get a Link USD? Sure. Let's see. I'm surprised no one's asked about Link yet. 46. 4 hours trying to put in a bit of a low. Daily, I think daily trades back down to like $43, but tries another bounce there. Again, it's very similar to a lot of the other ones. While it does have a little bit of short-term down, I'm not bearish on this chart at all. There's no reason to be bearish on this chart, in my opinion, as long as it's above basically the last breakout point, which was freshly as of last week at just below $40, $39.85 to be exact. So as long as it's above there, I do favor this one long term, still with the ultimate targets of about 60 plus long term. But for right now, extremely short term timeframes, yeah, they probably come back down a little bit. Daily and weekly, though, I'm looking for bouncies around this region right here. Again, somewhere around about 43 and a quarter to 44 region. And let it trade sideways for a bit. The only way I got bearish is with a daily closure or a 12-hour closure below 39 and an 85, because I really want to be respectful of the long term here. The weekly, just getting a fresh breakout, I have to go with that until proven otherwise. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. It's just, as always, have to have an area for a change in bias there, and that would be it. All right, sweet. Just lost my position once again. No, where'd it go? Ah, shit, man. All right, where do we leave off there? There we go. We got Richard Christensen coming back again, man. Will Snap bounce back on the monthly? God bless you, sir. God bless you as well, sir. Symbol SNAP on New York Stock Exchange. All right. Will it come back on the monthly? I mean, short term, it looks like it has, or this is a weekly. I do want to see the daily really quick. Could it put in a higher low here? Yeah, very well could. Will we have any divergences to be spoken about? No, we would not. We would not in that case. Okay, you're asking about the monthly specifically. I would actually be favoring some short-term downside in this one. $47.5 to $48 what I'd be looking for. Does it bounce back up though? Does it bounce? Okay, so you're asking, does it bounce back on the monthly? No, I'm seeing a lot more signals of this kind of confirming as a monthly high here. Probably trades down actually long term. We see monthly TSI looking like it wants to cross the downside. Again, not really enough history there to properly populate it. Monthly RSI is a little bit more on the downside angle there, but again, really not enough to kind of analyze it. I think it would be better to look at maybe the bi-weekly if you want to get the more higher term time frame look. And what do we see right here? Yes, okay, so short term, does it bounce off of like 50 or 49.5 bucks once again? Yeah, it looks like it. I think it trades sideways in this range for a bit more, but long term, does it break down? I think it does, at least if I'm looking at the monthly. But you got some pretty obvious ranges right here. Here's your last little range low. It's going to be synonymous with the 200 exponential average probably over the next, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 days, it looks like, at around $48.5. Below $48.5, I'd say no. Very likely this one trades down long term to 38.5 would be the next sort of major area I'd be looking towards, and then probably even goes down for the gap fill way the fuck back at about 29.25. By the same token, as long as it remains above this level, I do think that you still kind of have a chance to bounce back on the monthly, as you say, but the monthly is not the best time frame for this one because it's a little bit on the newer side, and I'm more inclined to go with the rest of the market here, but you do have a nice range to the upside as well. Again, is there any potential divergences on the weekly building? Yes, there is. Okay, so here's your one hopium, sir. I'll give you one hopium. Okay, it's not going to happen this week, but maybe next week. Maybe next week, if you do see a closure above the 21 exponential average here, which is currently 55.5 or so, on a weekly closure, I would be confirming this as a higher low and also hit in bullish divergence and have another and target another move back up towards 63.5 at the very least. Maybe even the prior high of like on a closing base 66.5. Until that happens, though, I would remain more cautious on this one, actually. I'd remain more cautious. What about the short-term timeframes? Short-term timeframes want some more downside here, it looks like. But that's very short-term timeframes. You're talking about a monthly, so that's maybe not relevant to you. Mr. SIJ Prop, how you doing, man? Chicago truck driver. Hey, man, I used to live in River North. Great place. I've been listening to you since mid to late 2017. Holy shit, man. Is your brain okay by now? Sorry, man. I don't mean to troll you with my raspy lesbian voice, but hey, it's a pleasure to see some OGs in here too. You've taught me more than hey, man, I appreciate that. You're half a millionaire today. Holy shit. Oh my god, man, that is awesome. You did. That's fucking awesome, man. I love seeing messages like this. I fucking love. Elsa's got the bell for you, baby. We got a half a millionaire in the house right now over the last few years. Fucking nice, man. That's really, really impressive, man. I'm so fucking happy to see shit like this. Whenever I get a message like that, I always want to remind you that, look, this is your doing. And if you made $500,000 over the past 3 years, you have been through multiple market cycles. You have seen both a parabolic cycle in 2017. You saw a massive bear market in 2018 to 2019. You saw a small bull market in 2019. You saw a massive, just catastrophic event in 2020. And then now you're seeing the incredibly powerful boolah market for Bitcoin as well, man. You've seen a lot, and you've survived a lot of this market. That deserves a lot of respect, man, because it's not easy to survive a lot of that. Most people who started in 2017 to 2018, they got washed out. They're no longer here, unfortunately. And I say that with great reverence, because at the end of the day, man, we do want people to be doing well. You have to understand that, rising tide does lift all ships. And this is fucking great to see, man. It's really, really great to see, because that is not easy to do. You fucking did it anyways. And now you've done something. Now it sounds like you've hit like a big milestone for yourself, which is great, man. It's fucking great. And those are the kind of messages that I'm just, man, it's like, that is fucking awesome. That is seriously fucking awesome. So it's like, I don't know what else to say, but I'm just very, very happy for you, man. Very, very fucking happy. Lord Stufika says, hey mate, oh, what's up, Lord? Could you check out CHC USD 4 hour in 24 hours? Okay, let's see. Face is itching right now. Let's see, CHC USD on Binance. Bouncing on the 4 hour, 24 hour daily is looking like what? Daily looks like probably bounce back up to 46 cents, and then I don't really have a natural proclivity on it. I mean, obviously the long term is up here. Weekly is going to look more or less okay. Yeah, I do kind of like the weekly. I would actually I'd favor short-term bounce to the 55 at about 46 cents. I'd be looking for a bit of a pushback there. Played a short-term range between the 55 and the 89 for a bit, but that technically is a higher low as it stands right now. Momentum oscillators are short-term turning down. RSI is neutral here. I'd give this one a chance, actually. I'd remain long-term bullish on it as long as it remains above this higher low right here, but I do think that you are going to come back down and test around that higher low. The question is, does it hold or not? If it does not hold, oh baby, the way that you go up is the way that you come down, and this one's going to have a straight fucking shot all the way down to like 12.5 cents right here. It's going to be really fucking nasty with maybe a bounce along the way at the 200. But wow, at least for now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Short term, very, 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 very small move to the upside, and then I'll be looking for a bit of a pushback there, and then probably another test down here. You do have a 4 hour death cross incoming. Now, this is not a picture perfect death cross by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm inclined to say that it probably doesn't play all that nastily unless this level breaks right here. Then you got a structural break plus momentum, and more of a long term read on that one as well. It'd be pretty fucking nasty, but at least for now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Keenan Brian says GRT USD daily, please. Thanks as always. All right, let's see GRT US derp. I guess Binance on this one. That's typically the going rate. Very similar chart. Very fucking similar chart. Short term, does it bounce back up to 146 region? Probably, yeah. Daily, do we still have an uptrend, or do we still have a trading range? We do, although we do have a lower low within this one and also a lower high. A little bit more concerning, but short term, I'd be looking for a short term bounce up 145.5 to 146. Probably does push back from there and try another move down to like 125. The question is just similar to the last one, and this one does not look as good. Does this what is this 1.25 level hold or not? If it does not hold, big moves down incoming. Big red dildos come in. 80 cents is where I'd be looking for, somewhere around there. And by the same token, as long as it kind of goes sideways in this region, it will just inevitably be bullish. But this level right here must hold, sir. It's like it doesn't must do anything, right? Or it doesn't have to do anything. But at the end of the day, I mean, that is your structural break. That is where things really start to get more concerning. In fact, you could already argue that we've already kind of seen that with this lower low right here, and what is starting to shape up to be a bit of a complex local high right there. Sweet, man. Fucking nice. Rami says, hey, Krown, planning on quitting my miserable job tomorrow. I've been a profitable trader for 2 years now, but will be signing up for your program this week before starting trading full time. Any advice? Thanks, brother. Okay, so all right, so I'm going to speak in general terms here, and I don't want to, rain on your party right now, but I think that this does need to be said just in general, because understand that this is a general audience. I don't know your specific situation, so hopefully this comes off well. What I would say is, unless if you have been profitable for at least a year where you are comfortable and happy with your profits, I would strongly suggest do not do that until you have met that goal. The reason why I say that is because right now trading is more or less easy. It is a bull market. It doesn't really take too much skill to just hit the green button. Now, if you've been in this market for a year or more and you've been consistently profitable over that time to your liking and fulfilling all of your life needs, hey, that's a fair decision. Go for it. No doubt about that. Fucking jump out, jump out of the nest and fly, I suppose. But if you haven't done that, I'd strongly suggest that you consider it would be a good idea to take it slow. Look, man, the market ain't going nowhere. You're not going to miss out on shit. You can always trade on the side, and it's better to learn the skills of trading while you have the comfort of a job or some steady money coming in. Because the worst thing that can happen as a trader is when you are reliant on like your next fucking trade to pay your goddamn rent. You don't want to be in that headspace. It will really mess around with your logical thought processes as the emotions start to creep in, because it's almost too hard to do unless you're a fucking monk who can like live completely in the present moment, which you're probably not even interested in trading to begin with. If you're that person, it's gonna be really fucking difficult. So I would say, first and foremost, make sure that you have at least enough savings to kind of have a year of living or more in order for yourself. And then also I would say, hey, it'd be really good idea that if you haven't been at least profitable for a year or even more than a year, it would be a good idea to just hold off on that, keep on doing it on the side, and there's no rush, man. There's no rush, and you really want to go into it, confident in that sense that you actually, have the history of being successful with it. Otherwise, it is quite a gamble, and it's no secret. Most people do fail at trading. And I'm not saying that to dissuade you. Most people fail at 99% of shit that they do. You can only really do like one thing or two things at a high level in your lifetime. I mean, it takes like 5 to 10 years to learn like a decent skill at like a very high level. It's like why someone who plays NBA, they only play NBA. They don't fucking learn other shit because they just don't have time to do that. You kind of have to, play that in the same way as trading. So I would say make sure that those are in order first. If that's not the case, I would strongly suggest actually holding off on that, at least for the time being. I know that it's exciting. I know that you probably don't like your job, as you stated, but it is the right mature decision to be doing. Or maybe what you could be doing, if you really don't like that job, is perhaps search out a trading job, maybe join like a prop firm and get around, some other people who have more experience and can teach you their ways and get you like more on board. I think that would be that would be the right way of doing it. But again, I don't know exactly where you're coming from, so I can't like just blindly jump on that, because I mean, I do know that most people do fail at this, as they do with just about everything else, which is, it's not like a reason not to try. It's just, look, make sure that you have everything in order first, then make the jump. And I always feel bad about this because I never want to like dissuade someone from doing something that they want. It's just because at the same time, like, a lot of people, like, that's how they're going to be successful anyway. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword, but I do think that that's the right decision. So hopefully that comes off well, and I say that with only good intent there. Hambone Crypto says, Doggy USD 4-hour daily. Why won't this meme just go away already? It's messing up my short. Yeah, it's going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time. It's not going to go all down in one single day, although I do think that we have some downside from here. Yes, daily. Multiple drives of hidden bearish divergence, or sorry, regular bear div confirmed. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 from these last highs. This high, this high, this high, and this high. That we've already got the move down to the 21, but usually these are going to get actually major continuation. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing down at like 30 cents. 2-day has bearish divergence confirmed here as well. I'd say between this high and this high. 3-day, I think, is getting there as well, although not confirmed. Do we close this one tonight? We do not. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and that have targets down to just below 30 cents as well. So yeah, I do still think that it breaks down here, but short term, is it going to bounce around? Yeah, I mean, we just got some bullish divergence over here. Short term could have a target back up to like 53 cents. Yeah, very easily. But we do have an obvious trading range right now, and that is just going to be between about 57.5 cent, or sorry, no, 57 cent to the upside versus our current low structure right here, right at 44 cent on a 4-hour specifically. I think I made this chart initially on like a 12-hour or daily, but as it stands right now, a break below 44 cents, and yes, I'd be looking for the next move down, 35.5 cent bounce there, and then very likely continuation a little bit below 30 cents. Okay, sweet. Hey, what's up, Mimi's at Butter My Biscuits? M-bot for candidate chart, sir. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. We got Microbot Medical. What could this be? Let's just go to the weekly here, and oh Lord, we have, holy fucking moly, we got the shittiest chart of the day. Oh my God, what the fuck? $300,000 down to $7? Wait, what? We have an extinction here, my friends. $3,000 down to $7 over the last 25 years. Oh my God. Nasty, very fucking bad. Holy fucking moly, man. Holy fucking moly. All right, so, hey, what's up, Sebastian? He's back, man. Yes, that's the correct chart. Thanks for the advice. That helps a lot. And yep, it's 1 a.m. here. Fucking hell, man. Shout out to you for staying up late, brother. Gotta stay up. Can't miss the stream. I salute you, my friend, and hopefully, hopefully that helps in some way. Zombie D, what's up, Zombie D? I've actually heard about a Zombie D. It was on Fleshlight.com, actually. It was alongside the Vampire D and the Frankenstein D. Very fucked up shit, man. Look, I consider. Even I would not stick my dick in a fucking alien fleshlight. Jesus Christ, that is concerning. I mean, I would for the experience, but I wouldn't after that because you already had the experience. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's amazing. Alien pussies, the best pussies of all time. Anyways, hey man, I appreciate that, brother. Would you lean towards a resolution of Ethereum to mid 4K? Spot 83 highs, then Bitcoin crash or Bitcoin crash or Bitcoin lows first. Thanks for being here. Hey man, appreciate that. Okay, so I'm not sure I perhaps understand the question, but do I think that Ethereum bounces back to $4,000? Yeah, I do. In fact, I think it's doing that right now, if anything. Yeah, I mean, there's your question answered. 4 hour is going to very likely confirm hidden bullish divergence, it looks like. Yeah, let's see. Here's your yes, we have much lower lows on 4 hour RSI. Do we have a higher low here on 4 hour price action? Let's see. Here's your last low. That is, let's see what open is, 38.53. Let's see, what's your closing here? 38.52 and a half. Damn, very fucking close there. Very, very close there. Very fucking close. I'm almost inclined to see another exchange too. Let's see. This one is a higher low right here. Yeah. I'm inclined to say that this does pop back up from here. Again, I'm not really bearish on Ethereum here. Like I said, I think that this one has one more move to the upside, at least. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing get up somewhere around like $5,000 first and then play out like a big pullback. If you want the more in-depth analysis on Ethereum, I did like a 10 to 15 minute long session at the beginning of this video here, which I could point you towards, which I won't do over again because I don't want to bore the shit out of people. But to kind of summarize it up, I'm not bearish on Ethereum right now, man. I think Ethereum pops back up here. And tries for maybe one more run over the next like month or so. It looks fine. Now, if Bitcoin dumps down to like, let's say $50,000, does Ethereum play out a pullback too? Yes, it very likely does play out a pullback. But as you can see right here, a Bitcoin pullback does not necessarily equate to like the same. Oh Jesus Christ, here we go. Does not equate to the same nastiness on Ethereum over here. I mean, it does pull back with it, but ultimately this turns into a higher low. So that is the structural difference as it is right now. Mr. DeCamps is back. The Dominicans are sponsoring one for LA community. Fellow Cavian, Hosea Fam, wishes for Solana USD. Nice one. Hey, what's up, Mr. Fam? Solana, okay, 4 hour on CBC Binance Exchange. All right, let's see. Solana, I think it's symbol Sol USD. And you're looking at Binance, and you are asking about the 4 hour specifically, Mr. Fam. Downside, I'd be looking for a little bit of downside here. I'd be looking for a test down to the 200, somewhere around, what is that, $40? Sorry, no, not $40. Around $38, but I would be looking for a bouncer as well. If you're asking specifically about the 4 hour, daily is, I don't know, has daily played out? It's welcome at the 21 here. I'm not so certain about that one. I kind of do still like this chart. I mean, it's hard to hate this chart long term, man. It's a good chart. It's a very good chart. What about the weekly? Yeah, can the weekly pull back here a bit? It very well can. In fact, we do technically have a bit of a reversal formation in progress here. This is called what do you want to call it? A 3 crows or three dead crows or 3 black crows, whatever the fuck it is. I typically don't like call these out all that often, but actually do kind of like these in crypto land, especially Forex. They're very, very good in Forex, and target on that move would be 32.5 actually, but I'd give it a chance first. 4 hour is down, yes. Where's your structure here though is the question. Well, I suppose structurally speaking, you could just use the base at the 200 here at about 37.5, maybe just below $38, you could say. Below there, yep, I'd start to look for that move down to the weekly next level, which is also the next horizontal on this time frame as well, down around the 10 simple, about 31.5 to 31.25 region. But I'd give it a chance first to bounce off this level and then come back to it. Now, by the same token on the other side, $45, I'd be bullish once again for reaches prior all-time highs and new all-time highs on top of that. But all momentum also is turning down here. 4 hour TSI down, 4 hour RSI little bit of a short-term bounce, yes, but I think that we're kind of playing that out right now. And I'd look for another base somewhere right around here. Okay, sweet. My fucking man, sir. Serious Laugh says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? Wrecked myself a couple of years ago, started small, and put my trading together since. Just hit my first big number this week. Nice. Congrats, brother. Congrats. More importantly, I know I have a skill for life. That's fucking it, man. That's the true beauty in it, man. You really cultivated a skill. And yeah, man, a lot of people wrecked themselves a couple years ago because that was, that was a very difficult trading environment. In fact, I would go as far as saying this. If you started trading in this portion right here from like mid 2018 to early 2019, you were baptized in blood. And honestly, I do think that that's a better venue to kind of come into markets at. The reason why I say that is because this is real trading. This is difficult trading. And this is where skills are made, skills are born, and habits are formed, and emotionally sort of like imprinting can happen as well, because you are going to see something that is not just straight fucking green dildo parties, which means that you actually have to think and you actually have to do something. You actually have to do something. So it sounds like you got wrecked at first. That's a very common story. I did as well, and I'm sure a lot of other people have as well. It's almost as if it's a badge of honor or a rite of passage in a sense, assuming that you learn from it and then benefit from it later, which by your own definition, you have. That's fucking awesome, man. You did it. You have the skill now, and that's it, man. That's fucking it. Man, that is awesome, brother. That is fucking awesome. Good shit, man. Fucking good shit. You always got to shout that kind of stuff out, man. Good. Mimi's at Butter My Biscuits. Hey, Crowns. We need Mr. Steele analysis for shit. SHHT, shitty. Man, we already looked at MBot. My voice can't handle it anymore, man. My voice can't handle it anymore. But we did get some horns out. We need some steel analysis. I gotta save the Lexington steels for the proper moments, my friend. But unfortunately, we already looked at that chart. Or did we already look at that chart? I believe we did. Was it the biotech? Yeah, it was. I got you, man. I already got you. You're trying to wreck my voice right now, brother. Okay, let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay, we're almost at the end here. We are, oh my God, 2 hours into this. Jesus, man. These are getting way too long. SBCA says, can you check out Ethereum Bitcoin? Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Where is it? There we go. 0.07. We are getting very close to the 8.5 million target. I still think it has a little bit more here. Yeah, I'm still bullish on this one. Daily's continuation, weekly's continuation. This also plays into Ethereum Bitcoin, still remaining bullish as well. Do you have any time frames? You did not give any time frames. All higher term time frames remain bullish. I still stick with my 8.5 million Satoshi target and probably pull back from there and then reaccumulates and tries getting higher. I still absolutely love this chart right here. Long term. The 4-hour trader, hey, thanks for that, man. But feel free to have a message too, man. Looks like he has not left a message, unfortunately. So I will not be able to communicate. Hey, man, what the fuck? Ender says, at Truck Trevor Paisano, you are in the right place. My fucking man. Indeed, man. Indeed. There you go, man. I mean, that really is the true joy of this, is like cultivating the skill and then expressing that skill over time. It's like, yes, the money is a function of that and is a byproduct of that, but it's the skill and the cultivation of that is like the truly rewarding and fulfilling thing about really learning anything at a high level, but especially trading, because you get rewarded with finances too, which you can live off of. OMG USD short-term thanks, says Michael Saldivar. Sure, man. I saw it on the losers list today, so I expect more of that long-term downtrend action on this one. You're looking at short-term. Well, weekly's not bad, man. This one's going to move up from here. Very likely short-term on the 4-hour, just to put in a higher low here. Yeah, it looks like it. It's technically not a higher low. The question is, does the trade lower first? Let's actually see what the 12-hour says. I'm inclined to say this one does trade a little bit lower first, but I would be looking for it to put in a low somewhere around about $9 and then try again higher. I'm not bearish on this chart on any higher term time frames. This is bullish, man. This thing's going to move up to this thing. I shouldn't say going to, but it's very likely to move back up to like $18 and probably beyond. So short term, maybe a little bit of downside here, but ultimately I favor the upside still on this one long term. This is the environment for that. Cavian Bird just pooped on the phone. Those bastards! How dare they? How fucking dare they? Fucking birds! Murder them all! It's a holocaust for birds, and I'm Bird Hitler right now. Okay, definitely banned from YouTube nowadays. Just a joke, YouTube. That's all. Okay, I'm not actually Bird Hitler. Okay, it's not even a real thing. Kelvin Lara says, Is Elon a rapper? He definitely can be from Brooklyn. Wait, what? I think Elon is actually from South Africa, if anything. But is Elon a rapper? I don't. To answer your question, man, I'm gonna have to give back that super chat, man. I don't know, man. Apparently, he has asked. Based on Elsa says based on SNL, probably not. He seemed very uncomfortable on SNL, but I don't know, man. I probably would be too. I probably would be too around all those fucking people. Those people are interesting characters. All right, sweet. Let's see. Mike Sanja says, "Hey, bruh. Hello, bruh. You can check out Uni USD on the 4-hour, 24-hour. Yep. All right. I think I got it charted down here already. 4-hour and 20. Oh, nope. That's Uni BTC. You want Uni USD. Binance. In 4-hour and 24-hour. Okay, very similar chart to the last few ones that we've seen. I'd probably be looking for short-term bounce off this regions. Can it play in a short-term range here? Back end of the 55 at like 34.5, 34.65. Yes. Ultimately, though, I would be looking for bounces there. I'm not bearish on this chart as it is. This is still an uptrend. This is still pretty damn powerful as far as long-term goes. Short-term, however, a little bit of a range activity between that level and kind of wherever the 10 symbol is right now at about $40. But what exactly you were asking? Oh, okay, you're asking about 4-hour and daily. Yeah, daily's a bit of a sideways, but I still kind of favor this one long term. It's hard to get bearish on this thing as it is. 4-hour looks a little more bouncy than most of the other ones. I'd probably be looking for a move back to like 38, 40-ish region. Short term daily range can very easily come back down to 34.5, but I'd be looking at that as a bounce opportunity, at least for now. I think this one trades back to like 38 in some odd change, as we just said. If it came back down, to that bottom support, I'd be looking for a bounce there. Ultimately, I favor the market analysis over everything else, at least for the time being. I'm curious, is there anything else that I can pull up here? Maybe the 3-day. Not getting much from this. I mean, it's still just an uptrend. 2-day, same shit. Although the 2-day can really come down here, actually. The 2-day is showing a few bearish things. Yes, we do got a 2-day somewhat jewel cell signal, but not really. Like too young to really populate this one fully out anyways, but target would be like $38.5. I think it's going to be easier to watch Bitcoin here, but you know what, Mr. Mike, I'm actually gonna have to say on this one, I don't think I have a good idea on this one. The only thing that I feel confident on is another test back up to the 21 here on the daily and a range between the 55 and the 21. I don't have anything to say other than that. I know that that's not too helpful, but I just don't feel compelled by this one specifically, either which way. The only things that I'm thinking right now are what I've already said is that, it's an uptrend. So I favor the upside, generally speaking, as far as the bias goes. We do technically have a trend line coming in here on the TSI, but I don't think that this one's going to hold actually. And if it does, you'll know by another daily close above 38.40. Above 38.40 on a daily closure, I would get bullish on this one once again. Maybe not exactly for a trending move right from there, but over time, yeah, it looked pretty damn good. But more or less, usually when I'm kind of stumped by something like this, it trades sideways a bit. Okay, SBCA says DPW analysis. So you're saying there's a chance. DPW and Alt Global Holdings. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Oh, this one's off to a bad start. Oh, shitty shit. We going down, baby. We going down. 150, man. Yeah, very bad chart. Is this worse than that shit that Mimi's That Butter My Biscuits had? It's pretty fucking bad. $10,000 all the way down to $2. Actually, that is maybe this might actually be the worst chart of the day. Did we give out the worst chart of the day award too soon? Could it be? This one's coming back down too. This is just one massive bear flag right here. I ever saw one. Nasty, man. Freshly breaking here too. Retest is rejected as usual. You're looking for this one to come back down to 150 and probably back down to the prior lows, maybe even beyond, man. It looks terrible, just terrible, especially in this environment too. Like everything gets a free ride to the upside in the traditional markets, and if this one's not following, oh, that's bad. That's real bad. Tom Yao says Wi-Fi 3 hours. Okay, interesting time frame there. I actually do like the 3 hour time frame for what it's worth. But no one ever really asked about it. Very good chart here. Very good chart. This one's breaking out right now. This one is bullish right fucking now. This one is moving right fucking now. And could we come up with some targets for this? I mean, we can come up with some areas of interest here. Let's see, what's it going to be? Okay, we already had a little bit of drama at the 1.414. Base, boom, breakout. Where's your next target? Somewhere around actually almost 9,000. What is this? 8,800 or what the fuck? 9,000, 88,500 to $88,500 to $90,000. What the fuck is this thing? This is a really good chart, to be fair, man. This is a really good chart. I mean, this is just straight to the upside. Very nice. Very nice. All right, cool. I think we're at the end here. Fellows, my voice is wrecked. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really fucking enjoyed this one. Hope everyone's having a good day and a good rest of your day. We'll be back on tomorrow. I want to wish you well once again. Take care and hopefully see you soon. I desperately need to get on with the rest of my day, however. I salute you, and until